Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I am not as good as I sound. How are you guys? Hope you're well. Hope everybody had a better day than Theo Cosby or Ozzy Osbourne. Holy shit, man. Icons from back in the day just dying left and right out here. Holy moly. 1 second. I need to adjust one thing. I apologize. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so yesterday, Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away. He drowned. Did you guys see that? He drowned. Not really helping the stereotypes there, Malcolm. But yeah, I like Malcolm Jamal Warner, both on the Cosby Show and the many guest appearances I saw him in and other things. I was saddened by the news, and then I saw Ozzy died tonight, and I was napping when Ozzy died. I was not responsible for Malcolm not being able to swim. I was awake during that. But Ozzy, 76 years old, lived a hard life, man. You treat your body like that for that long and you make it to 76, you won the game. I wasn't a huge Ozzy fan. I'm not a huge Ozzy fan. I didn't hate Ozzy, but I also never sought him out, But I do recognize his cultural significance. And to his fans, I feel sorry for them today because, man, that's got to kick you in the gut. You're talking about a massive figure here. And yeah, it's just sad, which we also these things always come in threes, right? So somebody else is gonna kick it. Who y'all think is gonna be? I have some hopes and some. That's wrong. That is so wrong. He's always napping, if only. I've slept a lot in the last 2 days, but it's been, I feel just run down, like I have a cold, but not a cold. I just feel, But yeah, I slept a lot today. I slept a fuck ton today. But we're not here to talk about that. We're actually here to talk about some more disturbing stuff. Frosted, thank you. First time, Matthew Perry to Malcolm Jamal. I don't get the reference. Monkey has a warm, yes. Over on the Streamlabs, Fluffy Ickle Kitten. Fluffy It'll I can't say it how I'm supposed to. Fluffy Little Kitten. Give Phoebe and Lady Monkey head scritches. I will indeed. It was funny. So I went to bed this morning. It was probably noon. Well, actually, it was afternoon. So maybe 1 o'clock. Anyway, Lady Monkey hears me. Her office is right above mine. So like when I close my window, she can hear it. And she heard it. So she decided to come down and tuck me in because she's a sweetheart. Oh, drowning. Gotcha. So she comes down, and lately Phoebe has been coming in when I go to bed and laying on my chest again. She stopped doing it for a little while, but she's decided she likes it again. But since Lady Monkey came in the room with me, Phoebe would not come to me at all. She refused until like 20 minutes after Lady Monkey went back upstairs, and then finally she came in. She got jealous because mom was in there when dad was going to bed. It was funny. This cat is so strange. But we're going to talk about even stranger. I don't know if stranger is the right word for this. Disturbing, I guess. Criminal for sure. I want to be careful here and say that in the title of the stream, I called this murder. I said that RFK is investigating transplant murder, and they don't call it that. This is my wording for it. I don't want to put any kind of wording into into RFK's mouth, but it is murder. What we're talking about here. HHS finds systemic disregard for sanctity of life in organ transplant system. You mean they're killing people to take their body parts? That's murder. We should probably be very careful and say that from the evidence we have right now, it's not an overwhelming problem. In fact, they down here, HRSA examined 351 cases where organ donations were authorized but ultimately not completed. It found 103 cases showed concerning features, including 73 patients with neurological signs incompatible with organ donation. What that means is they're like, hey, this person's brain dead. Take their kidney. And somebody went, they're awake. Or okay, I'm being a little hyperbolic there, but their brain is still working. They're not that brain dead that they love to talk about anytime. They're like, oh, got to pull the plug. He's brain dead. And they're doing this to procure organs. Now, 103 cases isn't a lot compared to the 48,000 transplants that happened in 2024. But they didn't look at all of them in 2024. What's up, Jack? How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. How you doing?
A little disturbed about what's going on with organ harvesting.
Oh, they're taking them out of living people?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's been, the source of horror for, as long as transplants have been a thing, probably before that.
Robert Kennedy came out with a press release today where they went through, 351 cases where organ donations were authorized but ultimately never completed. And of them, almost 30% were people who weren't brain dead.
Yeah, probably people that were close to death. They're just harvest them.
At least 28 patients may not have been deceased at the time the organ procurement was initiated.
That's fucked up, man.
Evidence pointed to poor neurological assessment, lack of coordination with medical teams, questionable consent practices, and misclassification of causes of death, particularly in overdose patients.
Let's not forget kickbacks for the organs.
No, nobody's buying organs, Jack. How dare you?
Oh, it's just weird that the rich seem to get priority on these things.
How dare you suggest that would be any kind of issue? Would that really be an issue if rich people could afford to buy somebody's kidney?
I mean, if it's done consensually, I don't have a problem with it, actually.
Yeah, me neither. But the medical community looks down on that shit. They'll happily say, hey, if you can't afford this medicine, you can go ahead and die. But if you can't afford this kidney, well, we got to make that equal, right?
Yeah, well, we're just going to kill you.
Theoretically.
Yeah, you're not as valuable to society or something. I don't know.
It's just funny to me that when it comes to organ transplants, that's where they suddenly they get very egalitarian.
And yeah, that's why I'm not an organ donor, because I want them to save me after an accident.
Well, again, guys, the total number of transplants was over 48,000 in the year 2024, Jack.
That's if we apply matter, I'm not being that 1%.
If we apply the math here to that, you got about 10,000 people who were murdered for their organs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I think there's some real shady stuff that goes on. But look, people are inherently lazy, and I've met some questionable paramedics in my time.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So if it's easier just to be like, well, he's an organ donor, they're going to let you fucking die.
And you know what? As bad as that is, at least then you did die. In these cases, I mean, 30% of them still had neurological signs that they were alive.
Yeah.
They didn't even let them die. They literally killed them.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. He's probably not going to survive anyway. Let's just go ahead and rip all that shit out. Real quick, though, somebody sent me a donation before I got here. Kitty make Mr. Happy happy. Thank you. 'Twas brilling and the slithy tove did Geyer and Gimbal through the Wabe. I don't know what any of that means, but thank you.
Donald Camp, thank you for that feminist $12. Hey, can I get prayers from my wife? She's in the hospital waiting for surgery, and I haven't seen her because I was on a job in the Gulf of America. Bro, I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the best wishes and everything. Yeah, absolutely. I hope she recovers. I hope she gets the surgery quickly and that she recovers quickly.
Absolutely.
That's horrible, man. When I was working down in Muskegon helping them redo their Walmart jack, I got a call. Lady Monkey had been rushed to the hospital.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this is when I found out that vasectomies don't last forever, because they told me they thought she had an ectopic pregnancy, and I was like, I have questions. I can't have kids anymore. It turned out it was just a cyst that had ruptured and caused great pain. But their immediate thing was ectopic pregnancy. And so we asked them about, like, why would you even think that? I've had a vasectomy. And the doctor goes, oh, yeah, those don't last more than 10 years. That's the guaranteed shelf life on those.
That's kind of messed up that they have a shelf life. But also, they obviously thought that, well, your wife's prettier than you, so
right,
she could do better.
I love that my wife went into the hospital and like, look at this whore. Anyway, I hope your wife gets better, my friend. I really do.
Absolutely.
I would be worried, though, after this story. This is a hell of a story for Donald to tune into.
Right? That's why I don't trust hospitals or doctors. Look, I've met some really nice people over the years, but you have to have like a degree of like autism or something wrong with you to work in the medical profession so you can tune out all the bad shit. Yeah. And sometimes that's going to be psychopathy.
With this part, that last thing there that they throw in, particularly in overdose cases, that kind of worries me. One, should you really be giving the organs of George Floyd out to people? Do you think those are any good?
I mean, if you're desperate, you take what you can get, right?
I suppose so. But what worries me about that is we have seen the increase in like fentanyl overdoses, and then we see a massive increase in organ donations. Because if I remember correctly, 2024 is up like 9% from the year before. I'd be curious to see what the increase in fentanyl deaths was. What I'm getting at is they're killing people with fentanyl so that rich people can have your organs.
I blame the Chinese. They only steal from the weakers.
Let me ask you this, Jack. If you found out, you get an organ, right? You get a new heart.
Okay.
And you find out that the person that they took it from wasn't actually dead. There was a good chance they might have recovered. How bad do you feel?
What kind of person are they? Do I get to find that out?
Nope. Just that's all the information you get.
I'd feel really bad, actually. I'd feel like shit.
I would too, but there'd also be part of me that would be like, better them than me.
Yeah, well, that's self-preservation. You can be like, ha, I'm the winner. But I know my luck. There was a movie back in the 80s about a guy that got a transplant. I think it was eyes. And he started seeing visions of how the person was murdered and had to go solve the murder.
Wasn't that a chick in that film?
There's been a couple of them. There's one specifically I'm thinking about from the 80s that was a dude. I think Jeremy Irons was in it. But yeah, there was Angel Eyes is the one you're thinking of, I think, with Lopez.
Okay. Yeah, I know I've seen one like that with a woman, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, there's been a couple of these kind of body horror movies where or a personality starts taking over the body of the person who got the transplant, and their personality's like evil or something. That's the type of shit I would worry about. So I would feel like crap if I found out the guy could have recovered. But at the same time, no takebacks.
Yeah, it's one thing if you were an accessory to it, right? Like you you made it happen. You gave the doctor a little bit of money. But if you
Yeah.
just found out that they did that, I'd feel horrible, but I'd also be like, but I'm alive.
Yeah, look, I'm always happy to be alive.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm not always happy to be alive, and sometimes that's your fault, Jack.
Yeah, probably.
And in this case, it is definitely your fault because you sent me this shit.
Yeah.
I don't want.
Look, if I have to suffer, I don't want to suffer alone. That's why I'm not an organ donor. I'm taking all of you with me, but I will take your organs if it benefits me.
Before we get to this lady, I do want to say I am interested to see where this goes.
Oh, it's just stupid. I just said it.
No, not her. I mean, the RFK thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
We know that these hospitals, look, I am not down on the American medical system the way that a lot of people are, because they're just told, oh, you can't get health care. Fuck off. There's ways to still get health care. However, I am much more concerned about things like this, about things like mutilating children.
Yeah.
Things that they're doing and nobody's really paying attention to. So good on RFK for even looking into this.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that does need rigid control over or oversight. And that's what they should be doing. I'm shocked that a lot of the more socialist countries haven't mandated everybody be an organ donor.
Oh,
They
sure,
just got
yeah.
stacks of that shit in the other room. You know, like China's stealing from Uyghurs, but like Norway and most of the European countries, I'm surprised they don't mandate it.
I think everybody who signs up to be murdered by the Canadian government should have to donate all their organs.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how they're killing them, but yeah, most organs should be viable unless they're using some of the like harsher execution methods.
Yeah, I mean, you could fix that shit pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
Just Epstein them, and then all of their organs should be fine.
Yeah, because you're during an autopsy or the embalming process, the organs are going to get thrown out anyway. So you might as well just, if they're going to use the maid service, might as well harvest that shit and use any usable organs for people that need them. There's lots of people that are on the organ waiting lists that are there from no fault of their own. It's just some genetic problem or something.
Actual legal, everything was done on the up and up. Organ donation is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that is really generous. I'm not that generous, but
I am that generous. I'm just not that trusting.
Yeah, because I know they'll kill me, or let me die so they can harvest my goods, and I'm not prepared to commit to that.
Plus, I know that my organs are probably not even good for me.
Yeah, I've probably destroyed most of mine, so...
Hey, who wants one of my lungs?
Right?
And yes, I did see it's Cephas Wolf's birthday.
What?
Wolf, it's your birthday, and around here we do this, and a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Cephas Wolf.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hope you have a good one, my friend. Really, really do.
Absolutely.
And for your birthday, we brought you this lady.
Oh, dude, that's an awful gift.
I'm not good at gift giving.
Me either.
Yeah. If you don't like toys, I don't know what to get you. I'm great at buying presents for kids because it's like, this is flashy and makes sounds, or it's really cool. I get that. But like my wife, I want pans. Like,
this is why if you're not 8 years old or between 8 and 12 when you have cool toys, you're probably getting a gift card.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to go.
Yeah,
I could get you a great gift if I had money.
Yeah, I'm an easy person to buy for. Just buy some nerd shit.
Yeah, same with me. I mean, if my wife wants to give me something I like, all she's got to do is make sure it's got Spider-Man on it.
Yeah, like if you can find a Spider-Man figure wearing a Chargers outfit, I think
dude,
you're set for life,
I just got a boner.
Right? I could get you that for Christmas, and I'd never be disappointing. I could buy you like a cast iron skillet for the next Christmas. You'd be like, yeah, but he got me that cool Spider-Man figure.
No, you can forget the rest of them. The rest of presents for history. I'd be like, he's got me that cool ass gift, dude.
Right? So, yeah, I don't know. We've known each other for several years, though, so it's fairly easy. We're both fairly predictable people, but most people, I'm terrible shopping for. That's why I buy gift cards. Like, go buy yourself something off Amazon. Leave me alone. I don't know what to get you. Get yourself something pretty.
I hate the idea of donor card and they let you die for organs, but I'm not also saying give me your organs. I think if, again, I'm all for it if everything's on the up and up. I just don't believe you can keep everything on the up and up. If there was some rigorous process, yeah, cool. The problem is that I don't trust them. So if you want to give up your organs, great. But there may come a time where we have to talk about you on the show because you weren't dead and they took your kidney and heart, you know?
Yeah. Can't they 3D print this shit now? Like a perfect genetic match?
Yeah.
Like, we should have that technology by now.
I was thinking of that as I was getting ready for the show, and like we're making the push to send men to Mars, and we still haven't figured out how to stop organ rejection.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, they should be able to recreate and grow you a new organ that is perfectly compatible from your own cells and grow it in like a pig or print it out. That should actually be technology we already have. But there's too much money to be made in transplants.
We read a story about this not that long ago, within the last 5 years, where that's what they were doing. They were
talking
growing
about that.
organs.
Yeah, I remember that. I think we covered that on this show.
Yeah. So I feel like we should be further along in that.
Yeah, it's either not financially viable, so they don't care, or they're going to lose too much money off organ harvesting and transplants.
Devil says, I think we have, it's just expensive. Well, organ donation is expensive as is. I mean, that shit is hundreds of thousands.
If they would do more research, it will get cheaper. The more they do it, the more they institute those policies, it would become cheaper. They just don't want to for some reason. Same reason they haven't given us the cure for cancer. I don't doubt some pharmaceutical company could do it.
Thank you, Wabajack. Saturday was my in-laws, Shio's grandma's 92nd birthday. Wow. 92. Congratulations on that number and happy birthday, Grandma.
I guess we're going to have to sing for her.
I don't have a name to sing for.
Ethel.
Where'd you see Ethel?
Shio put it two comments later.
Oh, there we go. Okay. You better play this for her, Shio. Ethel, this one's for you. Don't listen to the rest of the show, Ethel. You're probably a nice lady.
Yeah, but you don't want to hear our nonsense.
Yeah, but listen to this part. This one's for you. And a 1, and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ethel. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Hope you have a great one, or had a great one. Really, really do. That's awesome. 92, man. If I make it to 92, I was going to say I'd be like, shoot me, but I have a feeling my family already will have done that.
I mean, if either of us make it to 92, it's probably going to be some kind of medical journal miracle.
All right. Let's finally get to the crazy chick on our screen here who, white people, she's got something to say to you, and you might notice that she's a white lady, so you may have guessed in advance that it's going to be really stupid.
And don't let the image fool you. It's not sexy.
I don't want to hear another white person say the word illegal for the rest of my goddamn life.
What if they're saying child molestation should be illegal?
Well, she doesn't want to hear about it.
Shouldn't want to hear the word illegal from white people ever, even if they're talking about something other than illegal immigrants, apparently, Jack. All illegal shit, you can no more talk of it because She's tired of the word illegal. You know why she's tired of the word illegal?
Probably because she has a maid that is undocumented.
Because they tried so hard to change the lexicon to make it anything but illegal, and it hasn't taken.
Yeah.
There's even news stories that have started reusing the term illegal. Instead of undocumented migrants, they'll say illegal migrants.
Oh, this lady has an even better reason.
If she's living on Staten Island, is she going to give it back? No, then shut the fuck up. Hate Camel, you and your hate facts. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. Hey, Camel, you're too smart for this lady conversation. She's not going to look that deeply into it.
Well, they all pull this shit.
Of course
they
do.
We haven't even gotten to what she's going to say, and Hate Camel's already guessed it.
Well, it's on the screen.
Where is it on screen?
It's words under her neck.
But all she said so far is she doesn't want to hear the term illegal.
It was on there a second ago, I swear.
My goddamn life. We are living on stolen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. It was the pause where I hit it before.
Yeah. See, look, again, the image could be sexy, but then she's actually saying something stupid.
She has mannish features, so sexy doesn't really...
Well, I mean, her mouth and eyes and all that.
I guess. No, I'm still going with mannish. She looks like she's the bass guitarist for a hair band in the 80s. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. She does have kind of that 80s hair. But that kind of works for me. If she had the radar dish, I don't know. I might feel some kind of way.
They all pull this. We're on stolen land. We stole this land. And not one of them, even the ones who like own property, you like, well, give that back. Like, no, not my property.
Yeah. It's like they all live in a cartoon where some, like Christopher Columbus came sneaking up like he's Muttley, and he goes, yoink! And steals the land and runs off with it. And it just fall off of a fictional cliff like Wile E. Coyote. That it's not still, it's conquered. And a lot of it was empty because the Indians killed each other. So don't give me this shit. This is stupid.
Not to mention the Indian population, it wasn't close to what the American population is now. And we still have shit tons of empty space.
Yeah. Yeah, look, a lot of tribes were nomads, so they didn't really claim a lot of the land. And the ones that did, they were all fighting each other anyway. So shut up. Shut up. How far back do we have to go on this stuff?
No, she's going to go even somewhere else. She's going to go to biology.
Of course she is.
Or zoology, I suppose, is a better term. But let's let her get there.
Stolen land. Our ancestors forcibly and violently seized this land from the indigenous peoples who...
That's not entirely true. Believe it or not, many of the treaties were upheld. Were a lot of them violated? Sure. But like Manhattan was bought for beads, for fuck's sake.
I think we have to go complain about the Normans and the Vikings.
Yeah.
And we should probably talk to the Goths and the Huns. We should sue China for reparations for what the Mongols did because they control Mongolia now.
The whole notion of stolen land, I'll give it to you. We stole the land. So they stole it. And the people before them stole it. No, the original peoples of any group are not still there, Jack. The world has changed a lot in the last estimated 300,000 years since humanity popped up.
Yeah, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, you're a Moorish American. You have a lot of complaints to file. So, thank you, Shio. Graham's story. I was at her duplex with Waba complaining away from Graham's that her toilet is so fucking seated so low, the seat was tiny. I heard from the other room Graham's pipe up, if you stop tugging on that thing, it won't splash down.
Nice.
We got my mom a seat lift, which was, it's just basically an elevated toilet seat. It was like $20. It's like I can see it from here. It's still here. But yeah, you put that on your toilet seat and it elevates it. It's a lot easier to get up and down from for older people.
Yeah.
But I absolutely hated their old toilet. I actually got a new toilet installed because the other one was so low to the ground. And the new one was only like 1.5 inches taller, but it's a noticeable difference. So I understand the hatred of low toilets, dude. Completely. And grandma, first of all, is hilarious. So yeah, stop playing with things in there. Just go in there and get the job done. Thank you, Shio.
Skeptic fucker in chat is still stuck. Is he the one that got stuck on the first topic last time he was here?
I don't know.
Said you want organ, but you wouldn't donate. I didn't say I wouldn't donate.
I did. I said that.
I would. Yeah. If Lady Monkey needed one of my kidneys, I'd absolutely give it to her. If she needed half of my liver, I'd give it to her. I'm just not blindly going, yeah, if I am in a car accident and broke my leg, feel free to root around my organs for anything you need.
I would do that because I'm selfish. I'm not going to donate because they won't try and save me. After I'm dead, what decisions are made about my body is irrelevant. I don't care anymore at that point because I'm dead. So if my next of kin wants to donate my organs, whatever, fine. But I have to be dead first. It's specifically spelled out in my do not resuscitate form, by the way.
If your like sister needed half your kidney, you wouldn't give it to her, or one of your kidneys, you wouldn't give her one?
They don't want my kidneys because my kidneys aren't that good.
Not what I asked.
So I could donate.
This is the ideology.
Oh, hypothetically?
Hypothetically, yeah.
Yeah, I would if it was somebody I loved. Yeah.
See, it's the whole. This is what I'm getting at with the notion of not donating. Nobody's saying they won't donate no matter what. It's we're not just signing off on the blanket. Hey, if you think you could harvest something, help yourself.
Yeah. No. It's.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's not a blanket release. You know, there's conditions. Right. Like, do I know this person? Do I care about them? But if I'm dead, I don't give a shit what happens to my parts.
If my daughter needed a heart, and I'm healthy, I'd be like, fuck it, take mine. But if it's somebody I don't know, good luck. That's where I'm at on that. But I don't want to talk about that anymore. That's why we moved on. So back to our crazy bitch here.
We're living here for generations before we ever showed up. We do not get to call them illegal.
Is anybody calling Native Americans illegal?
I don't think so.
Me neither, because
usually we call them Americans.
Yeah, they have the rights to travel all across the United States. They're basically citizens of the United States. Nobody's calling the illegals or natives illegals, which you can't say they lived here for generations before we did, and then say, but you can't call them illegal.
Yeah, she's conflating like the Mexicans and South Americans with American Indians. That's not even close to the same thing.
And you actually could still, things can change, right, Jack? Like if there's something, let's say there's a gold coin laying out in the middle of a field, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody owns it. It's been there for generations. But it's just found. There's nobody to claim it, but I claim it. It's mine now. And then you steal it. You taking it at that point makes what you did illegal because you just robbed it from me.
Yeah.
Me taking it isn't robbery. Or if you had found it in the field, it's not robbery. The things can change to make one thing where it wasn't illegal before, but is now.
That's why we have things called laws.
And if you want to point to things like, well, Mexico used to own California. True.
Spain used to own Mexico. How far back we going?
But the Californians that were there at the time, including the Mexicans, became American citizens at that point. Nobody's calling those people illegals.
No, that would be stupid.
The whole notion that you can't call them illegals because other people used to live there a long time ago. It's fucking retarded.
By that count, most of the Baltic countries are Laplanders.
This is how we get stupid shit like squatters' rights.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't own the fucking planet.
Nope, but we do own this country.
Yeah, and eventually we might, starting with Greenland and Canada.
We don't own the planet. That is such a stupid thing to say in this discussion.
It has nothing to do with this discussion.
Nobody is calling the Mexicans who live in Mexico illegals.
No one's calling the Mexicans that live in Costa Rica Americans.
Right?
What's she talking about?
We do own the United States because whether you like it or not, property ownership became a thing. It's sad that the Indians didn't pick up on it, although they did. We don't have ownership, but if that other tribe comes here, we'll fucking kill them.
Yeah. We might kill them to take their land too.
I love this nonsense, but property ownership is a thing, and we do own this country, just like England owns England and Canada. And any other place that you go, any of these South American countries, any of the North American country below the southern United States border, go sneak in there. Go ahead. See what happens to you. They threw a Marine in prison because he wandered across the border. He wasn't even trying to emigrate there. He was just like, bruh, I'm going on a hike. And they threw his ass in prison. Kamala's vaginal HPV tumor. It's good to see you. Hope you're hanging in there. Regarding the organ thing, my mom is doing the razor fist. Fuck you, I was right, while spinning in his chair. Also, tell Phoebe I said, psst, 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 psst. I will do that. I will absolutely do that. Thank you so much for the donation. Over on the YouTubes, thank you, FL. Are we going to talk about all the treaties the Indians broke? The town scalp, the Aztecs, ritually sacrificing basically everyone. No. Only European colonizers are bad people. Just because they brought technology, disease theory, and medicine, and literacy and civilization. Fuck all of that. We might have had owl farmer. I don't know, what do they name Indian kids? Little Feather. There we go. Little Feather. He could have grown up to be an Indian warlord if it wasn't for us.
I mean, look, everybody's got goals. I wouldn't mind being a warlord sometimes, but it's a lot of stress and people try and kill you, so it's not really worth it. Also, yes, I admitted I'm a hypocrite on the issue, Skeptic. Get over it. Let it go. Let it go. Conquest is an actual thing, and it's not a problem until the Americans do it. So I'm kind of sick of this shit. America's not allowed to have borders, but everybody else is. So you have to respect Mexico's sovereignty, but you can't respect America's.
Here, I don't care what the rest of the world could be open. They could be, everybody could come here, and I would still be, no, fuck you. These are our borders. You got to follow our laws. So I hear what you're saying because they never bitch about the rest of the world doing it. We don't own this planet, but you're only concerned about this one portion of it. So I get what you're saying there, but even if everybody else went the European Union route and like, no, you can travel here freely, all you want. No, fuck you. That's not good for you. Because that's how you get taken over.
Yeah. A Hate Camel pointed out that Mexicans, specifically in Mexico City, are throwing a hissy fit about all the Americans living there because the Americans won't learn Spanish and they're making costs go up. And and they're bitching about it, saying, go home, outsiders.
Mexico City's getting gentrified and they're not liking it. Yeah. Dangerous. Thank you so much. Over on Rumble, thank you, Dangerous. People coming here from other lands and harming those already here is perfectly fine because people who came here from other lands and harmed those already here was bad. What the actual fuck? Yeah, that's the other part of this argument. I love it anytime I see. Lakota Man was the last one I saw doing this. Like,
No.
Look what they did to the Indians as an excuse for why we should be allowing illegals to come in. Like, did you not take the lesson from what happened to let's say we take your fucked up version of history and the white man came over here, slaughtered all the Indians and just took all of their shit. Why are you using that as a thing that should be happening with the people coming up from south of the border?
Yeah, it seems like you should be opposed to that kind of colonialism.
Yeah, unless your whole point is white replacement. I know we're not supposed to say those terms, but it really is what a lot of them have preached and begged for.
Oh yeah,
and then when you point that out, they're like, "That's a conspiracy. That's a racist conspiracy theory." And
well, it is racism.
I don't think it's white replacement. I think it's American replacement because black folks, they'd like to get rid of you too.
Yeah, it's Western civilization replacement. Real quick, thank you, Hyman Lineman, for that generous donation. It's good to see you, man. Hello, Jack and Monk. FYI to the future line, mow grass and water garden. City work to shut off water at 10 a.m. Damn cunts. Don't forget to do those things because the water does get cut off at 10 a.m. But thanks, dude. I'm glad to see you around. Was a little worried that something might have happened because I haven't seen you in a while. But hope you're doing okay. And thank you, Kamala's. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I say, yeah, Hyman, hope you're well, my friend.
Thank you, Kamala's vaginal HPV tumor, for the generous donation. Rather than growing organs, they've been making snatches out of men's forearms. Oh my God! Yeah, don't remind me that. Have you ever seen those scars on people's forearms when they take the fake PP flesh? Oh my God, you can't unsee that shit. I've seen like war wounds that weren't that disgusting.
Well,
Christ, the thing.
Just to go to what we were talking about, where we haven't grown great organs yet. They're growing dicks on forearms, but we're not figuring out how to make a kidney.
Yeah, it looks like those wieners were created by fucking Dr. Frankenstein too. Like, they don't even look like dongs. And apparently they don't even get hard because they don't have the muscle control for it. So it's some fucked up stuff. You'd think they'd be able to grow like generic wieners for people. Like, you could probably take somebody's DNA strand and like convert it to the other gender to grow the proper organ. But holy God, like, can't we do gene editing yet?
I don't understand why with like a fake penis they don't use some kind of silicone prosthetic.
Yeah,
you could attach that. And
Frankenwings.
It would be as useful as that weird dick you grew on your arm.
Yeah, oh my God, I think they'd be Frankfurters, wouldn't they? Because they're like hot dogs.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, look, man, there's some really messed up stuff going on, and I don't like this kind of butchery. It looks lazy and really anti-technology. But anyway, with the replacement thing, yeah, it really is. Oh, hey, Ron. So I don't like what's going on. This stolen land bullshit. I'm so tired of hearing that. That is some weird Portland talking point that they're not going to let die. And they're not willing to give up their property. And if they did, at some point, we'd end up in a war over that territory again.
I like how you said it, Western civilization replacement, because that's really what it is. Maybe if we started saying it that way, they'd get over the it's racist to bring that up shit. I mean, these were people who were bragging, look, white people are going to be outnumbered by we've supposed to have been outnumbered so many times, Jack.
Yeah, but
it's as bad as global warming.
Oh my God, yeah. They can't figure out a proper way to destroy capitalism and Western civilization, though, because it actually feeds into people's greed better. And that's why most of these countries that try to fight capitalist systems fail miserably. so they have a losing talking point on that. So they want to turn it into a racial issue, and that way they think they can subvert your stupid brain, but it's not working because we all know what it is. If you're like Vivek Ramaswamy, they're coming after you too, dude. Doesn't matter if you're brown or not. And people like him know that, thankfully. But any small business owner should recognize what they're up to. This is all communist bullshit dressed up in some sort of quasi-racism. And it's all an attempt to take your stuff away from you.
The racism charge has been enough to keep people from talking about various different topics for decades. And so that's where they go with, remember when they, when they told us, not all illegals are Mexican. And why are you racist against Mexicans? You can't be racist against Mexicans. It's not a race. You could say xenophobic.
Sure, I suppose so.
Yeah, xenophobic doesn't hold the same weight that racism does, especially in America, because racism has some pretty ugly history here in the U.S. Xenophobia, not as much. And that's not to say because I was going to say we've treated outsiders poorly throughout history, but not the way that we treated, the poor folks who brought over here to make sure that we didn't have to do the hard manual labor.
Yeah.
They want to make it racist because xenophobia doesn't play the same. Every group that's come over has faced some xenophobia when they get here, and then it fades.
Yeah, because people get used to the culture that came over. They start to integrate and assimilate. Because when you see people with different customs than you, it makes you a little nervous. You don't know what kind of jib jab hoodoo they're up to, and if it's dangerous or a threat to you, that sort of thing. So eventually people start to become accustomed to the strange ways of others. You should still kind of keep an eye on the voodoo priests. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, it's just these things take time, and there are always going to be groups that use those differences to their advantage to spread fear, because there's money to be made in it. Al Sharpton's made a career off of disliking people.
Hyman, thank you so much. Monk, glad to see you back. Been too long since I've caught you live. By the way, I'll run the full VOD in the morning. Well, get some sleep, my friend. Thank you for the donation, and it's good to see you. It's been a while. It's been quite a while. Heck, you folks might have Canadians overstaying too, who think they aren't included somehow because they're lily white. Well, this has been one of the criticisms of the whole immigration debate. Since Donald Trump really kicked it off back in 2015. Like, oh, you have Europeans overstaying their visas, and you don't care about that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we probably have some of those. We have Mexicans who came here legally who overstayed their visas, Jack. Those aren't the people that have made this the problem that it is, though.
Yeah, it is a concern, but it's not the main concern. The main concern is the people we don't know wandering over the border and doing God knows what. A lot of them are mentally ill or criminals or have nefarious plots and machinations. That's the shit we're more worried about. We at least know who the people that overstayed their visas are because we have their name and photos.
We didn't have 3 million people overstay their visa in 1 year under Biden. That was people who illegally crossed.
Yeah.
They had no business being here in the first place. Yes, the people who've overstayed their visas need to go to fuck home, and we'll get to them. But first, let's start with the biggest group. You start with the biggest problem, Jack, and clean that one up. And then you clean up the rest of it.
Yep.
Anyway, back to the crazy bitch here.
Nobody does. We are evolved monkeys with opposable thumbs who use them to write little monkey scribbles on a slice of tree, and we call it a birth certificate with our little monkey sounds.
I don't know what I don't know what she thinks she's proving here.
She hates Planet of the Apes a lot.
She just doesn't like monkeys. She is a
Yeah.
white woman. Black guys, watch out, because I think she's talking about y'all.
She might be talking specifically about you.
Could be.
Ranting monkey. No, look, I for one think that we were divinely created by aliens, maybe God. So I don't know who she's talking to, but it's not me. Maybe it's the soulless monsters that agree with communism because they're not human. They might be monkeys.
I just love the whole we're monkeys with opposable thumbs. All monkeys have opposable thumbs.
Shh, don't tell the monkeys. There'll be an uprising. Caesar said no.
We're monkeys with opposable thumbs. You mean
now
like
we're
monkeys?
watching Planet of the Apes again? Damn it!
This is so fucking dumb. We're just monkeys who wrote on a slice of tree on a birth certificate.
I mean, it's technically mashed up tree because it's pulp. It's not. It's paper isn't made from slices of trees. It's from ground up tree pulp.
We slice it really thin like an onion that you want to melt in a sauce.
That's just offensive to me. That she's trying to make this argument and can't even get that one little like it's the little shit that always pisses me off because I already know she's stupid. But come on, at least try.
By the way, monkeys also tend to have their land that if others come into, they will defend.
Yeah, most animals have territory.
Yeah, but
yeah, even cats, big cats have territory that they roam.
Do you think she's thinking of monkeys' feet when she's talking about not having opposable thumbs?
I don't know what turns her on, and I don't want to know.
She didn't say they don't have opposable thumbs. She just made it seem like that humans were special from monkeys for having opposable thumbs.
Yeah, the implication being that we think we're better because we have opposable thumbs. No, monkeys have opposable thumbs. I'm sure there's probably some other animals working on evolving that that solution, so they're not afraid of the vacuum anymore. But
all primates have it? Isn't that one of the defining things of a primate is an opposable thumb?
I think so. If she wanted to point out something that we do that very few primates do, it would be regulating our breathing. Because there's only like 3 primates that do that: humans, proboscis monkeys, and some tiny little monkey whose name I don't remember.
I'll give you a more fun one. We're just monkeys who have sex face to face.
Yeah, well, some of us do. I don't know what you people do for fun.
Kamala's vaginal HPV tumor. Thank you again. Your ancestors sucked at war. Boo-hoo. No shit. Except it's not even her ancestors are the one who won the fucking war.
Yeah, she's blonde.
No, okay, wait. I have a problem with it. She is not blonde.
Well, yeah, your roots are showing. You're right.
Look at her dark ass eyebrows. This shit pisses me off because blondes aren't as dumb as you think we are. It's the people who wish they were blonde who give us a bad name.
Sure it is.
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, you're not shape-shifting witches like the gingers, but
as a natural blonde, I how dare you call this bitch a blonde? She's wearing blonde face.
She identifies as a blonde. That's how she presents herself. Those are the rules now.
Thank you, Frank. Monkeys have tails. We're apes. Well, primates is a good enough distinction for me to at least get to the opposable thumb category, tail or no tail.
I mean, there are some people that have tails. That they usually get them surgically removed.
Yeah, what's the name for that again?
Prehensile. I don't know. There's a term for it, but
I can't remember what it is. Somebody in chat will say it, I'm sure.
Yeah, somebody smarter than us knows it.
All right, back to dummy.
Oh, hang on.
All of
thank you, Kamala's vaginal HPV tumor, for the generous donation. Man, this awful affluent white female urban liberal. That's great. I got to remember that. Awful. Is doing the math bird hands. Yeah, I hate that. When they do that thing with like she's doing right now with her hands.
Yeah.
Or the snapping. What's the other one? where and so there are certain hand gestures that are just incredibly ratchet that you only see from leftist women, usually when they're mad.
It's called Curious George syndrome. Retro says I'd keep it. That would be cool. In what's the movie with Jack Black where he sees Gwyneth Paltrow is skinny even though she's fat?
Oh shit! I don't remember the name of it. If you had asked me, I would have known.
Jason Alexander has one in there, and they show it, and it's one of the creepiest things. Shallow Hal, thank you. It's one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. He wiggles it. Anyway.
Slice of tree, and we call it a birth certificate with our little monkey sounds. All of it is made up. None of it is real.
A birth certificate is 100% real.
I like her Gene Simmons impersonation.
You can say that it's meaningless, but you can't say it's not real.
Yeah, look, there are a lot of things that in a more savage society would be considered meaningless, but in the society we have, they matter. Like arbitrary things like social security number would be meaningless in a civilizational collapse. But we don't live in that era, thankfully. So the birth certificate does matter.
Adebisi says she's trying to talk smart. Yeah, this is a philosophical argument that she's trying to make here, and it's basically the end of philosophy, nihilism. Nothing matters.
Yeah, this is college freshman or sophomore philosophical navel-gazing.
Yeah.
It's meaningless drivel. You still live in the society. If you want your birth certificate not to matter, fly down to Brazil, wander into the jungle, and hang out there with some tribals, okay? Because that's the only way it's not going to matter. As long as we have some sort of established civilization, lots of things matter. Like, don't murder people, drive in a specific side of the road. Those are just things that exist in civilization. If you don't like them, go live as a savage barbarian. I don't think you're going to really thrive there, and you probably won't last very long. Idiots.
Natalie says she's not very bright. No, she's her wattage is pretty low.
And it doesn't fucking matter. And it's certainly not a valid reason to rip a terrified, screaming child away from his weeping mother.
Mother is a meaningless concept. It's made up. It's
It's a social construct, I've heard.
Yep. So weeping is also made up. Weeping, crying, it's all made up.
Since when do they think that children belong to the parents? Don't they belong to the state? Like, who is she to dictate what we can do with the state's children?
You can't fall back on weeping mothers after saying it's all made up. And especially when your point of it's all made up was birth certificates, where we keep track of lineage.
Oh, what? Your family tree might matter to somebody. No. Look, your kids all belong to the state.
My family tree was thinly sliced so monkeys with opposable thumbs could write on it.
They wrote in banana.
They did.
And I am tired of being made to feel like I'm crazy.
Let me help you out.
Well, stop talking then, lady.
You shouldn't feel like you're crazy. You are crazy.
Yeah. I feel bad for her boyfriend or husband that's preparing to leave her.
Yeah, no shit.
From his weeping mother. And I am tired of being made to feel like I'm crazy for being angry about this.
Well, your anger is because you're stupid. People often get angry at things they don't understand. You ever seen a monkey when he doesn't understand stuff? He'll fucking flip shit everywhere.
Yeah. They throw poop at it. And they get really upset.
You're dumb and you don't understand the conversation. So what you should do is either educate yourself or move on to a topic you can handle, like crayons.
Oh, wait. Here, I have the ultimate response for this. Maybe she should have a man explain it to her.
She couldn't take that because it would probably be a white man.
He's mansplaining. Yeah, because you have a tiny girl brain.
Capitalism is just narcissism as an economic system.
How'd we get to capitalism? Oh, that's right. System of ownership.
Yeah.
Do you see where the whole because lots of people have commented on us before, Jack, where they're like, everything's not communism. Oh, it's amazing how ingrained it is.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what communism has infected. Because they just they can't go through class warfare in America because we don't have a rigid caste system or class system. So what they do is they have to tailor it to specific things like sexism, racism, that sort of thing. And it insidiously works its way in. You can see its tendrils if you know enough about communism. And there's a lot to know. It's a very complex system of jealousy and envy.
She also does something dangerous as the fuck does that even mean? You have to understand that to feminists, narcissism is one of the most incredible insults you can throw at someone.
Yeah, because it tends to be a very narcissistic system and they don't like getting called out on it, especially fourth wave feminists.
They love to call people narcissists because how dare you? And they don't even use it correctly.
Of course not.
Every man they've ever dated is a narcissist. Every person who's ever wronged them is a narcissist. They're not. That their whole world revolves only around themselves. That is not narcissism. But everybody else is a narcissist.
It's sort of that whole mirror effect where everything they accuse somebody else of is what they're doing.
Well, this is one of the problems with psychology and it being aimed at women is that much like astrology, you can make literally anything fit somebody.
You're only saying that because Mercury is in retrograde.
I 100% am. And especially if you don't understand the psychology that you're reading, you can make it fit. This is why everybody has, I'm going to go on a rant about this later, but this is why everybody has PTSD lately.
Yeah, well, it's the WebMD effect. You learn a term and learn a basic Wikipedia style entry about it, and you assume you have it.
Like, wait, sometimes you remember things that happened to you in the past. I have PTSD. I had PTSD about that time I went to Disneyland and had a great time because I remembered it, and so that's just PTSD.
Yeah, it's a superficial knowledge, but lack of understanding. So it's very frustrating to deal with people like that because there's so many of them now. Everybody thinks they're an expert in whatever they initially come across at surface level know. It takes a long time to master anything, at least 10,000 hours, supposedly. Some people work a lifetime to master it, like chess. But to just read a Wikipedia entry and assume you know everything is really the height of narcissism. Like, I am such a genius. Oh my god.
Devil Pup says I have PTSD from this woman's comments.
Yeah, I mean that might actually be legitimate.
Okay, let's go on.
Imperialism is just narcissism as a foreign policy.
See, narcissism again. Aren't there so many better words that you could use besides narcissism?
Yeah, because it doesn't really fit. Narcissism is not a culture.
How about Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
It's an individualistic thing. So you could say the king is narcissistic, but imperialism is not capable of narcissism.
How about imperialism is oppression as a foreign policy? That would make far more sense.
Oh yeah, because you're imposing your will on others.
Or it's xenophobia as a foreign policy. You're literally going there to wipe out the other cultures. There's so many better words than narcissism here, but little feminist brain. This is why when you said I feel sorry for the man who's getting ready to leave her.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as she started saying narcissism, when I watched this the first time, I had that exact same thought. Oh, dude, some dude just broke her heart. Because they always fall back to narcissism when a man breaks their heart.
Oh, yeah. He's just a narcissist.
That narcissist. He's classic narcissism that I heard about on the Twitter.
Or anyway. On Oprah.
If the lion can't claim the safari for himself and call the elephant illegal, then neither the fuck can we.
The lion does that, you stupid bitch. You're in my territory. He does that all the time to other lions. What are you talking about?
The lion does it to anybody he decides shouldn't be in his territory.
Yeah, anything that isn't supposed to be there is now a threat to his pride. Pride not being the emotional state, but the pack of lions.
Yeah. This part here is where, like, oh, we have to talk about her. Because she even gets this wrong.
Dude, I sent you this for a reason. Okay. And mostly it was to torture you.
What she said up to here is absolutely retarded. But then she gets to this part and it's just like, what? You're misunderstanding how lions... Did you get all of your knowledge of lions from The Lion King?
Well, no, even that would have told her more about it because, you know, you had the evil lion that didn't put up with people he didn't like.
In The Lion King, the lions, everybody lives together. And even though they might eat some of them, they're all allowed there. The Pride lands are pretty barren of other animals because they are easily caught and eaten. I don't know what this bitch is talking about. But I also wanted to highlight this because liberals love to go to the animal kingdom. So she just told us, Jack, if the lion can't chase out the elephant, then we can't either, which I didn't know we had illegal elephants in the country. I'm against that.
I don't know. I like elephants, but are they like legally documented? Or are they working elephants? She
said the illegal, you can't call them illegals because of the elephant. The elephant can't be illegal. And I think we should have some restrictions on the importation of elephants.
I'm
just saying.
Can we bring back circuses if we let the elephants in?
Thank you, Mighty Balzac. Undocumented hyenas? Yes. But liberals love to go to the animal kingdom to justify human behavior. And since she used lions, let's use lions. Lions are incestuous. They murder the young of others. Like when a new pack leader takes over, a new lion conquers the pride, he kills all the existing babies.
Yeah, there's no stepfathers in the animal kingdom.
Yeah, they don't abort. Literally, they're already born and out there, and he will murder them all.
Yeah, because they're not his. They're a threat to his lineage and dominance.
Yeah, this woman's fucking retarded. And liberals stop comparing us to the animal kingdom as a way to be like, we shouldn't do this or we should do that, because animals are pretty fucked up. They
don't be in jail.
Rather than opposable thumbs, you know what we have that they don't? Laws.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks to the lawgivers. Oh, damn, I'm going to watch Planet of the Apes after this.
Lions just let everyone else into their pride lands, Jack. That's why they all hug. That's why Scar was still allowed. In real life, Scar would have been killed by his brother if he kept hanging out in his land.
Yeah. Well, hate fact.
Scar is the most honest lion in all of Lion King.
Now, you look at this like upper middle class woman and you think maybe she's been traveling or had some worldly experience. Apparently not, because she doesn't understand how anything works.
Yeah, you know what, sweetie? How about we do treat it like lions? You know what lions will do to something that's in their territory that shouldn't be?
Attack it?
They'll kill it. Yeah. So let's take a lesson from the lions and illegals who are here. Let's treat them like the lions would.
Yeah, I mean, kill anyone on your property on site. Yeah, that you've deemed to be unwelcome.
No slice of tree required.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could probably use a stick, club them to death.
It's just such a stupid fucking argument. And so devoid of any intelligence around the subject.
Well, it's because she doesn't know any better. She has no experience with anything except her likely upper middle class livelihood. Like, she's making an animal kingdom analogies when the closest she's ever gotten to the animal kingdom was 10 seconds of a documentary her soon-to-be ex was watching before she walked in the room and changed it.
All right, Jack. This next subject, I was going to save it for later, but I want to make sure I talk about it. So, I have other things that I want to talk about if this one doesn't take that long, although I think it probably might. On your screen right now is Hassan Piker, and I love using this picture of him because it makes him look like the closet homosexual that he is.
Dude, his hair looks really weird there. Like, it looks like he's wearing either a weave, extensions, or a wig.
This was during his arc where he was trying to look pretty like Moist Critical with long hair, and it grew like this instead.
But Charlie has nicer hair. This looks like he stole Stephanie Zimbalist's hair from 1985.
Yeah, guys with long hair, if it's not straight, it tends to look, sorry, because some of you, this is going to apply to you, dumb. You just look dumb. Get a haircut.
He's trying to go for the Jesus look, but it's not working because it's too full and it's too long. Like, if you're going to have long hair, you have to have that style, right? Like, look at how it goes from like flat on top to poofy at the bottom. It's like
this isn't Jesus. This is Mr. Slave. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He ends up looking ridiculous. Like, it seriously looks like hair extensions or a weave.
I got angry about this man last night, Jack.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't anything that he or that I had just seen. I was actually watching Band of Brothers.
Uh-oh.
And then I got to the end where they did We Stand Alone Together, and it's the actual men that story was based on.
Oh yeah.
Talking about their experiences and stuff. And what they went through and what they came back to. And one of the things that they all said is they're not heroes. The heroes are the men who never came back. They all say that. And these are men who objectively did heroic shit.
Yeah, but there was a level of modesty and a recognition that making the ultimate sacrifice was more heroic than coming back.
Meanwhile, this cocksucker on the screen had the nerve to compare himself to Superman the other day.
What? I mean, well, he does have the hardest job in the world, being a streamer. Remember?
The men who fought in World War II grow up in the Depression.
Yeah.
These are men who their whole lives were fucking rough. And then they get thrown in this meat grinder. And not just the Band of Brothers guys, all of the guys who fought over there. The people who stormed the beaches of Normandy, the Marines who took Iwo Jima, the sailors out there in the Pacific fighting the Japanese aircraft carriers, the sinking of the Bismarck, going to our friends in the British Isles, sinking of the Bismarck. These are men who went through horrible shit and don't hold themselves up as anything other than just a regular guy.
Yeah, look at all the people that survived the Blitz attacks on London and all of England, for that matter, from the Nazis. They never run around screaming how they're all fucking heroes. No, they're like, well, that was just the time we lived in.
And this piece of shit compared himself to Superman. Because
in what way?
Well, because he inspires people like Superman, Jack. That's his argument. I'm not making that up. That was his argument, because Superman inspires people, and that's what he does.
Oh, dear God.
This is an asshole who sits in his room saying really stupid shit to the internet, often wrong, often lying, and has the balls to compare himself to a superhero.
Yeah. First of all, Superman doesn't hate America. Maybe modern Superman comic writers, but historically, Superman loved America. It's truth, justice, in the American way. And the son kind of hates America. And I don't think Superman's ever made buddy with terrorists.
The men of World War II fought actual fascists, actual Nazis.
Yeah.
This motherfucker's running around there calling Ethan Klein a Nazi because he disagrees that Hamas should be praised. How have we fallen this far?
We have a bunch of uninformed children that are told how special they are all the time. He's a product of the educational system. He really is. And probably his uncle's undue influence from, historical illiteracy.
People like him will blame all of our problems on boomers. And I think boomers probably did a lot of damage, Jack, but the millennial and Z generations, you don't get to blame all of your problems on the boomers, because even they had a tougher life than you do. Even they were more manly than you are.
Yeah.
Frank, thank you so much. One inspires us to be better, the other terrorists. No, Hassan is not a terrorist supporter, you guys. He told me so. Right after he was bragging about having a terrorist on his stream and doing little love hearts to him with his fingers.
Yeah, and calling for the end of the Jewish state, right?
I was actually, I laughed to myself the other day because I saw somebody bitching about Zionism and how there should be a two-state solution. You guys do realize that if you believe in a two-state solution, you're Zionist, right?
Yeah, and they already tried the two-state solution. Didn't seem to work because the Gazans don't want a two-state solution.
The two-state solution is Zionist because it necessarily means the Jews have a right to a homeland. Some of y'all just went, fuck. You're probably blaming the Jews for that realization right now.
What?
But this is their whole shtick, is just the fucking Jews did it. No, sorry, Israelis. I got to make sure I delineate that for them, because that's what they really mean. It's not all the Jews, just those damn ones that live where all the Jews live.
It's amazing how they say not all the Jews, and then we'll blame any Jew as being a Zionist.
Yeah.
That's crazy how that works.
But I was getting so annoyed as I'm watching Band of Brothers and what these guys go through. And then to see them all so humble about it. So humble. Look, some of these motherfuckers did shit that you couldn't pay me enough money to do.
Yeah. I mean, I would...
the guys, and again, this isn't from Band of Brothers, but the guys who stormed the beaches at Normandy, fuck no.
Yeah, I think I could do the time in jail for being a coward. Because that was just, your odds of surviving that were pretty much nil.
These are like, wait, I got to run into 42 fire through water across an open beach.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do that.
That sounds like a great plan. How could that backfire? How come there's no air support?
Real men, exactly, Devil Pup. Compared to them, I'm not a man. I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, we live in much softer times.
And to the softer time where this asshole's like the dickhead on your screen right there will actually throw around terms like Nazi and fascist for somebody saying something they disagree with.
Yep. He is a very spoiled person.
The leftist fear these days, everything is fascist. We think there's concentration camps. Even if you take the worst things, the Obama pictures of the kids in cages from 2015, misattributed to Trump by all of the news media.
Yep.
That doesn't even come close to what concentration camps were like. And it is fucking retarded to even mention them in the same vein.
Yeah. They have no concept of what the gulags were like, which existed well after the concentration camp.
True.
So they have no understanding of what fear and risk really is. These are people that live very, very comfortable lives. Hassan has never had to worry where his next meal is coming from, let alone ever had his life actually in danger.
True. But this is why I keep saying, and people like him, because there's a ton of people who are, clingers on, who did grow up much more poor than he did.
Oh,
And
yeah.
even they have nothing on what the Jews went through in concentration camps, or even in Germany before the war starts.
Yeah, because they didn't have to get corralled into ghettos. They weren't allowed. They weren't ever told that they could do business with certain people because of their religious or political beliefs. These are very soft people who have had mild inconveniences in their life. It's disgusting to see because they have no historical context. They obviously never talked to a grandparent or a great grandparent who ever had to go through World War II or Vietnam or anything like that. It's disgusting.
Look at how they talk about old people. Like your racist grandpa at Thanksgiving. That's everybody that's older than them is just automatically racist and stupid.
Yeah, and they disavow and don't even bother to listen to anything they have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Around here somewhere, I have my dad's ration book from World War II. He was a little kid during World War II. And he had a ration book like everyone else, and it's got the little stamps in there, so you could tear them out. They didn't use them all, obviously. For like, you were allowed to have certain foods and stuff like that. I think my grandma's is around here somewhere too. And seeing that's harsh because I used to hear my grandma tell stories about how they would like get their allotment of butter and go trade it with someone for some flour, stuff like that. And this asshole has never had to even conceive of the notion that he might have to make his own food, his own nuggies, and he may not have enough of something to do that.
Natalie says some people never paid attention in history. I'm going to disagree with you slightly there, in that I don't think that the history that's taught these days is the history that needs to be being taught.
Yeah.
I think the important parts of history have been completely overrun by the atrocities of the white man.
Yeah, it's become an anti-Western civilization class as opposed to a history class. There are a lot of horrific things that happened in history and struggles that honestly we would not be able to deal with mentally today. It's
Jack,
amazing people went through them.
I need to step away for 1 second.
Okay. Now's the time to give me all your money, everybody. Oh, wait, is Monkey still here? You can tell by the way I walk, I'm a woman's man. He left that fucking picture up there. Oh, I hate Hassan. I think he is willfully ignorant and likes it that way. He doesn't want to know about anything that contradicts his life philosophy. And it's really dangerous. My dad served in Vietnam. Would never talk about it. My uncle served in Vietnam. My dad was in the service right before Vietnam really kicked off. He got out in 1963, right before Kennedy's assassination. And he ended up staying like 4 months over what he was supposed to, but he was like a radio operator. So he got out before the war started, and they never called him back, shockingly. But my uncle served in Vietnam. I don't know exactly what he did, but he had like a physics degree, so he was in some kind of like unit that did stuff like bridge building or some shit. I don't know how much combat he saw, but I had a couple of uncles. They never talked about it though. Father was in the Korean War. The Korean War was just as bad, man. That was brutal warfare. Technically, I think we're still having that one.
Sorry about that. My racist bladder needed a break.
Oh, yeah. Get rid of the yellow audio.
Yep.
Was he eaten by cannibals? No, he wasn't.
To the point I was talking about right before I stepped away with education. Education is important. And we talked the other day about how a lot of what we learn in school, you lose over time, right? Maybe you have a vague concept of it. One thing, especially with history, that you learn based on the history that is taught is values. You don't even realize it's happening, but when you're taught who the good guy in a war is, you're taught that the values that are associated with that is the good value. And while you might not make that direct connection, this is why we tell kids fables and parables and fairy tales, is to instill values in them. And if you look at the stuff we're teaching, I always give young people a little bit of grace because this is how they've been taught. At some point, you're Hassan's age, you probably should have educated yourself better than that by now. But they are being indoctrinated into the wrong bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing to me realizing how unpatriotic people have gotten. And I've known that for a while, but again, watching something like Band of Brothers, that's going to hit you in the face.
Yeah.
These men were heroes. And when they got back from what they did, they were treated like heroes. And it wasn't that long after that the men who were sent over to fight communists were treated poorly when they came back. Dark Resurrect, thank you for that feminist $12. My granddad is a Vietnam Marine vet. He is a bit racist against the Vietnamese, but they did try to kill him daily and did kill several of his friends. I will never know what he went through. Yeah, other than a same with like the Band of Brothers thing. We will never know what those men actually went through. We can only get a retelling of it that doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, we should all be thankful they did it so we don't have to.
Yeah. Dangerous. Oh, go ahead.
Thomas Paine once said, if there be trouble, let it be in my time so that my children can know peace. Yeah. And that's how generations before us used to think, is if there's a problem, hopefully it'll happen on my watch so my kids don't experience it.
Thank you, Dangerous Spaces. Hassan thought he had really pulled off that look because every person that he ever walked up to saw him and loudly exclaimed, Jesus Christ! Chank's nephew has such a punchable face. Just me? I think he looks like Steven Crowder, which if you guys tell him that will upset him greatly, so please do.
He doesn't look Canadian.
he looks like Steven Crowder. I mean, they could be related. Yeah.
They might be. I don't know.
They might be. Maybe Crowder is Chank's other nephew.
That'd be hilarious. Real quick, thank you, Skint Kitty. Have all my money for the ramen fund. I'll just starve. Well, thank you, Skint Kitty. You'll be fine. Starvation, the hunger pangs only last a few days, and then they go away, and you just are miserable in other ways. You know, your organs start shutting down, so you have greater things to worry about. Just drink lots of water. But thank you.
Now, what set me down my Band of Brothers journey was, again, watching a reaction video, and that's what really started to piss me off.
Uh-oh.
No, the person loved the show and everything, but they just said one thing that pissed me off. It was a female creator, and she said she couldn't imagine the PTSD that these guys went through. And she has some friends who have PTSD. It's different than what those guys have, but it's the same thing.
What?
Yeah. It's another one of those places where I just get angry at the younger generations because literally everybody has PTSD these days.
Oh, I was sad. So I was PTSD.
I went to Starbucks and I ordered a mocha cafe, a half latte, half I don't know. I don't order Starbucks, but they gave it to me. Oh, let me do it in a way that I can. I went to McDonald's and I ordered a large fry and they gave me a medium. Now, anytime I see a McDonald's, I have to hug my cat.
Also, meat is murder. We have raised a generation of crippling depression and mental anguish because they can't handle anything. And a lot of this is self-imposed. They do convince themselves that this is like the biggest trauma ever because they've never experienced or seen anything actually traumatic.
In the Battle of the Bulge, Jack.
Yeah, I have that daily.
The 101st Airborne was surrounded by Germans, and they had rows of trees that you could see down. They could actually see the Germans who were firing at them. And it was a nightly thing where they were getting shelled as they sat in little holes in the frozen fucking ground with the wrong equipment for where they were, with not enough food, not enough ammo. And they were just kind of stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
They watched their friends get blown up They couldn't sleep. That's a reason to have PTSD. My dad yelled at me when I was 5. That is not PTSD. You just have a bad memory.
Yeah, like a bad experience does not equate to PTSD, and it really, really minimizes the horrors of actual PTSD. Not every fucking soldier has PTSD. I understand why a lot of them do, but not every one of them does. And if you've ever seen, I used to have a neighbor that had PTSD, and the things he would scream in his sleep, you could hear through the walls. It was horrific. The man would freak out. Like, he had to like get earmuffs for the 4th of July because he would have flashbacks and start acting a little off kilter. And he took a shit ton of medication. He had been injured in Iraq, so he had like permanent damage too. So that man popped Vicodin like it was his fucking job, like Dr. House. And nothing helped his like night terrors. It was horrible. I could not imagine trying to live as a normal person with that, because you know that you're going to be an outcast. That is not the same as like, I one time got called a woman when I'm a man.
Yeah,
Fuck off, you pussy.
Foreign Native says we wouldn't have this problem if we still called it shell shock. And that is true, not just because, I mean, the George Carlin bit on shell shock into PTSD is wonderful. But PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. And anybody can have stress, Jack. You can get stressed over which pair of pants to wear that day if you're the right kind of person.
Yeah.
Shell shock was a very specific thing about, munitions exploding around you.
Yeah, explosions and like actual traumatic things.
And in our lives, because we live such sheltered fairy tale lives almost, can you imagine telling somebody in medieval times that you're poor because your refrigerator only has milk and eggs and your pantry is only half full and the TV, your cable got cut off, but you still got local networks, and then claiming to them about how horrible it is to be poor?
Yeah. Like you have a car and a bicycle and like a lawnmower. Shut up, you babies. You spoiled little pussies.
Yeah, it's why you see so many people these days. They're like, the worst thing that ever happened to anybody ever. And it's like they stub their toe.
Yeah.
Because we have no concept of what real pain and suffering is in America. We just don't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. Go ahead.
There are people in the third world that are perfectly fine. And that's all they know. So they don't know any different. So they're not upset about living in a rusty shanty that is held together with like baling wire and string, because that's their life. They're just, living in the shitholes of Brazil or Kuala or God knows where else. Yeah. People out there have it way worse than you. Way, way, way worse than you. Stop being a bitch.
I'm not saying you can't be upset because shit goes wrong in your life, but a little perspective, man. I think we've lost so much perspective, and this also ties in with communism because we've lost perspective of what that shit is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look,
you and me, Jack. We were right on point on it, but as a society.
Well, we're older too. A lot of people have forgotten what happened with 9/11 and how that traumatized New York City. And I would say that was actually pretty traumatic to be in or near those buildings and seeing them collapse.
Sorry, I gave somebody PTSD for having to look at this quote fag so long. We'll take him off the screen. I apologize. I did not mean to
You may have actually done that. Yeah.
Did not mean to get PTSD.
You're going to have nightmares where that image just flashes in and out of your head. You walk by a TV and think you see it, So,
I wasn't saying fag, YouTube. I was reading somebody else saying fag, just so you know.
Yeah. It meant cigarette.
Yes. It was with a PH, so it's okay to say.
Yeah. Like phlegm without the L.
Yeah.
And a G. But we haven't had a major attack in the U.S. in a long time. Like it was the two World Trade Center attacks in Oklahoma City and maybe the Vegas shooting if you were in the area. But there's no cultural zeitgeist of a massive catastrophe that is really imprinted in people's brains, here in the States. We are a very safe nation. Most of our enemies are an ocean away or incredibly far. We don't have to live next to somebody throwing rockets over the border every day, shit like that. So we live in a very safe society. We are one of the most powerful, well-armed militaries in the world. Our civilian population is really well-armed too, for that matter. So we haven't been invaded. We haven't been in a major war. Very few of our people have experienced anything like warfare. So it's actually unusual to run into somebody with actual PTSD because it's so mildly infested in our culture. There are people that say they have PTSD, but if you weren't a soldier serving in Afghanistan or Iraq or a rape victim or something like that, you probably don't have PTSD. So the chances of actually interacting with somebody that saw that kind of carnage is fairly low, especially for somebody like Hassan. He doesn't interact with the rabble.
I did see there's a rumble rant. I was just letting Jack get his statement out.
Sorry, I get a little bit.
No, I don't know if the audience has noticed this, but you've been much more talkative the last several shows, and I really like it. But
I don't. I get bitchy.
If a donation comes in the middle of one of your rants, I don't want to interrupt it because I like having rants on here. Sometimes with certain guests, I feel like I'm the only one talking, and not with you, but I like just kicking back and letting somebody else get it off their chest once in a while.
Yeah, well, a lot of things have been pissing me off lately, and I am turning into that old guy that complains about everything, so...
You're turning into me.
Yeah. You're a bad influence, monkey.
But no, audience, have you guys noticed it? It's I like it. I really do. It's welcome. There were times back, I'm going to tell on you a little bit, Jack. Early in the show where he'd have a rant that would go on for a little while, and then he'd always apologize after the show. I'm like, dude, don't apologize. That's why you're here.
Well, it's technically your show, so me having a rant is taking up your audience time.
I learned it from watching you. Exactly. No. Look, man, if I wanted just my opinion on here, I'm perfectly capable of not inviting you.
True.
Yeah. So, Dangerous, thank you so much. Holy fucking shit. These idiots don't suddenly fear for their life because of a firework or a car backfiring. They don't freak out because the sound of a chopper reminds them of a war zone. Fuck off. Yeah, true. They don't understand it, but this is again, I'm sorry, ladies, but I have to, you're the ones that you're susceptible to this. Psychology plays on your weaknesses, and it gives you an excuse. Hashtag not all women. But post-traumatic stress disorder gives you an excuse to be fat or lazy or not want to go to mom's house because I have the PTSD from that one time we ran out of gas. I mean, we didn't actually run out of gas, but it did ding on the light, and then we went and bought some and got some Twinkies too. But I was so scared that day, you guys.
I had PTSD from when Golden Corral ran out of steak tips.
Yes.
Ugh.
The language of psychology, especially as this push towards women, which it is designed for you. This is why you always hear about women saying we had to go to couple counseling. You don't get men doing that. Like, babe, I think we should go to couple counseling.
Because they're always like, honey, I think you should go to counseling.
It's all designed for the women, and it's designed to give you guys an excuse.
I think I have to make a slight delineation there. A lot of what we see is pop psychology. They read a self-help book, or they read some magazines, or they saw Oprah, and they didn't actually go to any counseling.
I used to make that delineation, and then the APA came out with their trans bullshit, and fuck them all.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fair. It has gotten significantly worse in the last 10 years or so. But
Well,
it's so sad how much people are self-diagnosing.
if you look at Freud, the father of modern psychology, and I forget the guy who's the grandfather, because there was a guy before him, and you actually go read their shit. These were insane men. They were absolutely insane and just pushing their agenda. Psychology has always been about pushing an agenda. Now, psychiatry, because there is some medical benefit to looking into things like real bipolar. Not I read it on WebMD. It's like I'm bipolar.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I read it on Tumblr.
That's usually the case.
Yeah. Those aren't helpful at all. But the actual number of people who suffer from that stuff, compared to the number of people who are on SSRIs now and all that shit, is insane. So I don't make that distinction anymore. I used to, and then they came out with it. No, totally, you can be a girl in a boy's body.
Well, that's why I think it's we need to go back to a more scientific approach.
Mm-hmm.
I've dated psychologists and a psychiatrist, and psychiatry is definitely more scientific than psychology.
Psychology doesn't work because we are way too varied for it to work for everybody.
Yeah, it has to be tailored individually, and let's face it, there's a lot of biases by the people in the profession that they can't get past. And a lot of times they're going into the field to diagnose themselves.
No, dangerous, not Nietzsche. I forget. I'll have to look it up again because I've mentioned him before, but his name escapes me. Freud was a student of his. I don't know if directly, but it's where he picked up most of his bullshit from. Anyway, Jack, I wanted to share this for a couple of reasons because, god damn. First, let's talk about the title of this show. It's covered by our portraits down there, Jack, but it's The Best People with Nicole Wallace.
Ugh.
How fucking arrogant. The Best People with Nicole Wallace.
Are they talking about us? Because we're pretty awesome.
I don't think Nicole Wallace could get near the best people. But in this specific instance, she has Jeff Daniels on her show. Now, I like Jeff Daniels as an actor. I've seen him act. He can act. But anytime he opens his mouth politically, I just want to slap him with my dick. Because he's kind of a retard. And if you doubt that at all, just wait.
I think he's thinking of Maynard, guys.
Huh?
They're trying to guess who you're talking about. And I was saying it's probably Maynard.
No, it's Jeff Daniels.
No, Theodore Maynard. It was
for Freud. Yeah. Look, guys, I won't remember the name, so you can keep guessing, but I'll have to look it up because I honestly don't remember the name. This isn't one of those times where if I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, that. Nah, the name has escaped me completely.
Yeah, there's also his philosophy tutor, Franz Bernatano. So it's not Kant or anybody like that. It's somebody in the medical field. Real quick, thank you, Frosted Glass. The PTSD thing reminds me of the Socialist Convention a few years back, where with the point of personal privilege, they had to keep saying no loud noises, no chanting, pronouns, etc. The best was they had a room where strong smells weren't allowed. Hilarious. And look what they got done. Nothing. Because you can't cater to every single individual's random whims and dislikes, because nothing will ever be done, which is thankfully one of the only reasons these people haven't managed to destroy our world yet.
Well, going back to what he was talking about there, that socialist convention, I've never heard of a soldier who was in war who went to a play and people started clapping and he suddenly thought he was back in the trenches.
Unless the enemy was surrounding his foxhole clapping at him before they shot him, because that'd be weird.
But these people, Clapping, it causes me so much stress because the loud noise.
Now that
Fuck
might have
off.
applied to Mrs. Lincoln,
Maybe.
but I doubt anyone else.
She would have a good reason for that. I mean, not the Kennedy family. Sure, but not very many
they
people.
just avoid Dallas.
But we can't have clapping. Fuck off. Anyway, Nicole's talking to Jeff Daniels here, and he says one of the dumbest fucking things.
What?
Have you seen this clip?
Nope.
I almost want to let you guess how dumb he's going to be, but with the left the way it is, that could be a long conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I would need a lot of guesses. Also, Nicole looking kind of rough there. She looked like a aging Mayan.
Nicole has always looked rough.
Yeah, but it used to be like kind of attractive, like a little weirdly attractive. But now she just looks like I don't know, an old dude.
I can only guess that this chick can suck the chrome off a trailer hitch because she's maybe pretty enough for anchoring a local newscast, and somehow she ended up as a CNN anchor.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, like, she must be able to suck the soul out of a brother because, goddamn.
Like, as somebody with a newscaster fetish, I don't get it either. Like, Andrea Canning, I could understand, but Savannah Guthrie, same problem. Like, she's kind of odd looking. Not hideous or anything, just like you look kind of weird. And as she gets older, she looks weirder.
Dangerous asks, why are we watching The Dark Crystal?
Because they got to get that gelfling.
Oh, shit. Anyway, so...
Have you noticed we make a lot of weird Dark Crystal references on this show? Because I made one like 2 shows ago.
Not many people make Dark Crystal. Well, it wasn't a very popular Disney movie.
I was creeped out at it, but as a kid, I thought it was creepy. And not because of the Skeksis, because of the Gelflings. They creeped me out.
It's one of those weird movies that was targeted to kids, and it probably shouldn't have been.
No, because it had puppets. So like, oh, it must be a kid's movie. Jim Henson's making it. That is a very adult film. It deals with some really dark fucking issues. You know, like Krull.
It wasn't a Disney movie, wasn't it? I thought Dark Crystal was Disney.
I thought it was too. Maybe not. It was still Jim Henson, so
it was still marketed to the younger audience. It was marketed to the Disney audience, and they were too young for it. They, unlike a movie like Labyrinth, which younger kids can watch without getting necessarily too creeped out, they cross a line of creepy in Dark Crystal.
Yeah, like Labyrinth is a coming of age story. It's more marketed for teens, but like younger kids can watch it, except for that scene where the heads come off of the guys. And they try to take her head off. That's kind of fucked up. But yeah, it'd be like showing an 8-year-old Akira. Like they're probably a little too young for that. There's some body horror in there.
If it had been marketed more PG-esque, more towards a 13 to 16 crowd, it probably would have done a lot better than it did.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're being told it was Universal under Jim Henson Productions. So I'm with you, but still, it was marketed to kids.
It was definitely
children.
aimed at children for just poor marketing all around.
I think of it more like Legend, which not a very good movie, but especially seeing the devil in that, what's his name? Tim Curry.
Yeah.
If you see that at 8 versus seeing it at 13, it's going to hit you different.
That's very true. I saw that in the theater. My dad used to take us to some really inappropriate films. It was great.
That movie, I don't necessarily, I mean, again, maybe for age, for scaring children, but it wasn't a movie that if you showed it to a kid, I'd be like, you're a horrible person.
Yeah, like my dad took us to see Sword and the Sorcerer. And one of the opening scenes is the demon played by Richard Mole sucking the heart out of someone with his hand. And my mom looked at my dad, just said his name, and grabbed me and my sister, dragged us out of the theater. So only my brother got to see the movie.
To be fair, it's Hollywood. They were defined by being inappropriate towards children.
That's
Fair.
actually a fair point. Yeah.
So is Never Ending Story horse trauma? Horse trauma? Am I the only person that didn't give a shit that horse died?
Yeah, probably.
I didn't care about the horse at all, and the little Indian kid screaming, no. I wanted to slap him for being a bitch.
Hey, that horse was way more loyal to him than anyone else in that movie.
Fair enough.
It's like losing his best friend. But I was watching a movie with Frosted and Terry and a couple other people the other night, and there's a scene. It was Abraham Lincoln versus zombies, and this kid's running around with a shovel, and he smacks this girl, and I was like, "Look, it's Monkey." I just wanted to share that.
Where was that? You're the soulless bastard who killed Trash Can. I did not kill Trash Can.
No, he just didn't feel bad about it after he killed Trash Can.
The O'Driscolls killed Trash Can. Thank you.
And Monkey didn't care because it was just a horse.
I was upset by that. I really was. I was not happy when that happened.
But you can't get upset about Atreyu losing his horse? Man, that's soulless.
Monkey doesn't understand why John Wick killed everyone. No, I just said it was overkill what he did.
Was it?
It was.
One victim for every year of that dog's potential life.
That dog wasn't even a year old.
Yeah, exactly. It had all those years ahead of it.
He had that dog for 2 days.
Yeah, and then he had to get even for all the years that he could have had with the dog.
He didn't even have time to bond with that dog.
Oh, yes, you do. You look into a puppy's eyes and you're in love. It's just the way it works.
When I look into a puppy's eyes, all I see is veal. That's a dark joke.
That's a very dark joke.
That's a dark joke.
Yeah,
anyway,
veal is not made out of puppies. So
it is in Korea.
I'm sure they have a different word for it. Just like how they disguise rotting cabbage as kimchi.
Yes,
make it sound all cutesy. So they probably have a cutesy word for the flesh of puppies.
Okay, people are going to get very upset. And yes, I know, Pyrus, veal is cow, but it's baby cow. Tortured baby cow if you watch South Park.
Well, they got to soften that meat up. Yeah.
It was a joke, a metaphor. Anyhow, let's finally get on to Jeff Daniels' stupid shit.
I still think about Kamala.
Doug Emhoff doesn't even still think of Kamala. I want to throw that part out there right at the beginning of this. Her own husband doesn't think of her. Why are you sitting around doing it? Unless you're making jokes about what an alcoholic loser she is. I mean, don't you have better things to be sitting around thinking about?
Apparently not.
Oh, but his reasoning for it, Jack. Oh, God.
And how I think she would have been a good choice. I don't care what they say.
How about rather than what they say, what we saw? This is the same thing with Biden, right? Like, Biden was a great president. Did you watch him? Because he really wasn't.
Yeah. Well, his staff did a good job being communist. Maybe Jeff Daniels has dementia too.
Show me anywhere where Kamala has been good at what she did, and I'll be willing to listen. But even as a senator, like, oh, she was great at questioning people. No, she wasn't. She had people write scripts for her to go in there and pretend she was mean.
Yeah, she was just kind of a bitch. There's a difference between being smart and being twat waffle.
Her prosecutorial record is shit. Her AG record is shit. What has she done that gives you this much confidence in her?
Oh, she was really good at prosecuting people for drug crimes, then keeping them over their sentences.
That part's fair, but even that she didn't do. She had other people do it for her.
That's true too.
Because she would have done what Lincoln did. Liz Cheney would have been Secretary of State.
Lincoln made Liz Cheney Secretary of State?
That's how old that bitch is, yeah.
Wow.
And that's why he got shot, if we're being honest. Don't make me root for Booth. This is such a stupid argument. One, she wouldn't have made Liz Cheney Secretary of State. The Democrats would not have allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure Cheney was promised something, but not state. She probably would have been Transportation Secretary. They would have given her something because, hey, look, we all know that Cheney's just sad because she lost her career for being a dumbass, but she did not come out for Kamala like that without some kind of promise of being in the administration somewhere.
Yeah.
Look, Kamala wasn't doing that because she believed in Liz Cheney and thought, hey, I need to, which is what he's going to get to in a second. I need to have other opinions around me. She was doing it politically just for politics. She was just doing it so she could go, look, this Republican hates Donald Trump too.
Real quick, over on the Cash App that I missed by about 2 hours. Thank you, Donald Camp, for that feminist donation. Who says, your turn. I appreciate that, man. Sorry I didn't see it sooner. It was really nice of you. Thank you.
Frank, thank you, says, I hear she had great oral skills. We've never even heard that. Of all the guys who banged that dirty whore, have you heard one of them talk about how great she was at it? We just assume. Because they kept hitting it. But maybe that was like in Willie Brown's case. This is a 60-year-old man. He's getting to bang a 30-year-old. Maybe she was the only 30-year-old who put out.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably snugger than whatever old lady he was normally banging. So
his wife, yeah. Don't forget, he was married.
Yeah, or his other horse. Yeah, but that's probably not the only one he was banging.
I just want to point out, we don't even know. We know she sucked dick. We don't know that she was good at doing it. That's all.
Can you imagine getting those kind of jobs and you're bad at it? Like, I'll give you the AG job. Just stop, okay? Just stop. You're not getting anything. You're making it soft. Knock it off.
You're just mashing it. I also want to point out the look of this Best People with Nicole Wallace. This is another one of those attempts to be like, we need a new Joe Rogan. And have you noticed that as they do that, all of them are, because that was what Gavin Newsom's podcast is all about. All of them have this gay little, we're sitting in my fake library room.
Yeah, like, what is this supposed to be? Because it looks like a conference room at like a Days Inn. Like, I don't know these motifs they're trying to go with. It doesn't work. It's supposed to be like a more relaxed thing than sitting in a newsroom, but it still looks like an office that nobody would actually sit in.
Yeah.
It's some sort of weird liminal space that normally you'd walk by and not pay any attention to.
It looks like, I don't know if you ever saw these, but like back in the 80s and 90s on some news shows, they would have a segment where they sit down and talk to somebody, and they'd go over and sit down on a set like this every time.
Yeah. They had a little table with a couple of potted plants and like a photo frame or something, and they do these little like half-an-hour shows with the local news or something, and they always look so inauthentic.
Yes.
And they still never managed to grasp the concept of, if you're going for casual, actually make it look like a living room. Okay?
Hey, they're wearing jeans.
People...
It's casual. They're wearing jeans.
Yeah, but they're still dressed up. Like, you could tell that they're not like actually relaxing. And the microphones are fine, but the chairs look like something you'd see in an office building. The plants are clearly fake. And first of all, most people I know don't own plants because they'll kill them. So they don't even have that shit. It doesn't look anything like a relaxed atmosphere. It still looks like a fake. It looks shallow and pretend, and I don't like it. And all that woodwork or wood paneling looks awful. Like, what is that supposed to be? Is that a cabinet? Are they in the supply office?
They should have gone with just a regular bookcase. Let me get this real quick. Grump Kitty, thank you so much. Kamala was a hole of opportunity, maybe even a whole load of convenience. Freedom. Thank you so much. Yeah, especially for this set, they really shouldn't have gone with the cabinet look. They should have just done the library look, just have bookshelves. But
Yeah.
they got all the books that Nicole Wallace has tried to read, and this is all they could do.
Oh, they're all little golden books? Oh.
No, she tried to read them. She made it to like the third word and was like, I can't. But they counted it as her reading because she got those first two right.
It's just this is enraging because they're trying to come off as personable and still look intellectual, and it doesn't work that way. You ever see a real intellectual's library? Like the books are all over the place. There's like papers wedged in there. So a couple of books on their side jammed up against the spine of other books.
It reminds me very much of Dave Rubin's set, and I can't watch that either without judging him for his gay set, but at least he's gay.
Yeah, like his set, I mean, makes a little bit more sense. I mean, I bet his whole house looks like that.
Yeah.
But at least they're in his house. It might look like a set, but it's like his garage or whatever. So I don't know. There's something like the pretentiousness that they're trying to trick you with this artificial, pseudo relaxed atmosphere. It takes away credibility. And I already don't like Jeff Daniels because I think he's a pompous twat who thinks he's a lot smarter than he is. And same with Nicole Wallace for that matter. But they don't even look like. If you were at my house, there would be like a couple of chairs and probably a folding card table or like a little what do you call that? TV tray that you're going to set your drink on because I barely own real furniture.
Let me get this real quick. Mama Bear Brock, thank you so much. Hey guys, I'm late to the party. I know RFK Jr. is investigating organ transplant murder, but Canada's maid and China's political prisoners have probably supplied most of the transplanted organs the past few years. China probably not so much. Those organs don't last that long for transport, and they're busy supplying Europe. But I could see Canadians doing that. The problem is we've made it. I don't want to relitigate all that. I don't think that we're getting a lot of those organs that he's investigating from Canada. I think they're killing Americans for him, and that bothers me.
Or illegals.
One of the reasons I think Joe Rogan's thing works is because they're not pretending. They're just hey, you just happened into my living room. Let's sit down and talk. I find these sets, and I've seen like Logan Paul when I don't know if he still does his, but his podcast, they'd all sit around the big couch. And that was even like an actual couch they used that they decided, hey, let's do a podcast this way. But it still doesn't look natural.
Yeah.
Once you stick headphones and a microphone in there, it doesn't look natural anymore. So why are you even trying for the natural thing?
I don't know.
Rogan's just like, we're going to sit down at a table and talk because I invited you here. And he's like, yeah, I'm sitting down talking with you because you invited me here. And that's what it fucking looks like.
Yeah, at least they're like sitting at like a table with some microphones. It actually looks like a studio.
This shit looks like a nurse is going to come by to ask for your insurance information.
Right? Like we have an update for you about your cousin. Seriously, it doesn't look like a space that's used.
No.
I watched this one podcast. I think it was an episode of Where Did the Road Go? And the host, Soraya, he was on the show. I don't know if it was at his house. But they were clearly sitting on his furniture. Like he's sitting on this chair that looked like it had cigarette burns on it. Yeah. It was all ratty looking. And I was like, all right, this looks natural. It looks like you're sitting in someone's house. The carpet was like 30 years old. All the furniture was ancient and really well worn. And everybody looked very relaxed. And they're all just hanging out talking.
And for the record, I'm not judging the quality of the interviews or the podcast based on this. I'm just the pretense of it. Like, I'm not the biggest whatever podcast fan, but at least that looks like what it is. They invited some hoes in to talk on camera. They got a table. They all sit around as they yell at each other.
Yeah, it looks like what you would expect.
Yeah, there's no pretense there. It's not $1,000 furniture that they're all sitting on, pretending that they're just having a conversation. No, it's, yeah, you're coming here and we're going to yell at each other. It's what it looks like.
Well, but this looks fake.
Yes.
And I don't trust people automatically if their entire environment looks purposely fake. I mean, they're trying hard to look intellectual and at the same time look relaxed and comfortable.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. Intellectual people are some of the most disorganized humans I've ever met. It looks like a serial killer blew up a bookstore in their place. They got papers all over the place. Their desk is full of shit. There might be a couple of knickknacks here and there that are distracting because you're looking at those while they're talking because it's probably pretty boring. But this doesn't look like that. This looks like pretentious douchebaggery. And it's hard to focus on what they're saying because not only are they stupid and boring, but they're in an artificial environment that is supposed to be comforting and relaxing to you. But it looks like some pretentious dickbag's idea of what that is.
Thank you, Dangerous. She would have done what Lincoln did, like jailing political opponents without a trial. Seriously, Jeff, even as an Aussie, I know enough about Lincoln to know that's not a comparison you should make. Well, when we get to it here, I promise we'll get back to this.
Eventually.
What he says is even dumber than that, believe it or not.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I like a Bill Maher's podcast, not real time, which I enjoy for what it is, but the first half of Bill Maher until he's totally wasted, which he makes Joe Rogan look like a lightweight when it comes to getting high on a podcast. Seriously, by the end of it, he is so fucked up. I'm shocked he knows he's even still there because he smokes like Snoop Dogg, but he's got the tolerance of me.
Wow.
So the first half of it's fine, but he does this same fucking shit. He's got a couple of easy chairs there, some pretentious art in the background. It's like nobody believes that this is how you guys are. Anyway, it's an entirely irrelevant thing that apparently me and Jack both hate.
Yeah, I'm kind of fixated on it because that is a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, it looks
like
so
if you're go for the Charlie Rose look where you just had a black set with a big table and some chairs around it. That's as intellectual as you need to get.
Yeah.
God,
all right.
It's not that complicated. They got to try. They're trying too hard.
Team of Rivals.
Yeah, Team of Rivals. Doris Kearns, a good one, wrote the book about it. That's what Lincoln did.
You know why Lincoln didn't surround himself with Republicans? Why his cabinet wasn't all Republicans, Jack?
Was probably trying to build some consensus.
There weren't that many Republicans.
Well, he was the first Republican president. Like he would have had to draw from the Whigs.
He'd draw from the Whigs and some of the Democrats, because let's not pretend that he didn't have some Democratic leanings there. But he was also in a very unique time where he's trying to keep the country from splitting apart, and knew that, again, this was politically motivated. It wasn't that Lincoln was like, I think those slave-owning bastards have a lot of good points.
We've got points on both sides.
He was like, maybe if I keep this guy, South Carolina won't leave.
Yeah, he's building a consensus. Like you have to build a coalition so that you can kind of preserve votes from the other side, in theory.
When it comes to actually leading, though, Washington was the first one to learn, we need consensus in our government to get shit done.
Yeah, otherwise you just end up with a bunch of what they used to call it, gridlock.
Well, even before you get to Congress, where gridlock is a problem, when you have gridlock just in your cabinet, that's a problem.
I mean, it can be, yeah.
And this is what Washington faced with the differences between Adams and Jefferson and Hamilton, and it caused problems.
He should have put them all in timeout.
Anyway.
Surrounded himself with the people who would disagree with him.
He surrounded himself with the people who would disagree with him. That's what... Okay, Jeff.
That's what Biden did, right?
Can you show me the parts of Liz Cheney with Kamala Harris where they were disagreeing about anything?
Well, I mean, like their glorious second coming of Jesus, Obama. He did a lot of that, right? Right?
Yeah, sure. In La La Land.
Yeah.
The notion that because she would have hired Liz Cheney, she was going to surround herself with people who disagreed with her. Are you fucking retarded, bro?
Yeah, I would say he is.
Was Dumb and Dumber a documentary?
Apparently. I like how he tries to sound so intellectual and like, I am so educated. You're a fucking actor, dude. Shut up. You're not Peter Weller.
Wait. Shh. You're getting ahead of the story.
Oh, sorry.
Wait.
Not the people who would, take a knee and go, yeah, more tariffs, sir, more.
You're talking. All right. We just came out of an administration where the president clearly had dementia and nobody would say shit about it. But Kamala wouldn't have surrounded herself with yes men. That she would have totally had tons of people who disagreed with her.
Oh yeah. She wouldn't have just gotten Republicans. She would have hired Nick Fuentes.
The chick who made a name for herself with how chaotic her office was there in the Naval Observatory, the one who had a high turnover rate because people dared disagree with her and she couldn't stand that. On the world stage at the top of the ticket, she totally would have completely changed her personality.
Yes.
There is literally no evidence of anything he's saying here. And look, it is a hypothetical because she did lose Jack, but we can look at her, I don't know, history and see that this is nonsense.
She has a political track record. So this is just the usual ignorance you see from people that get their news from like one source, never question it. I'm so confident. I watch CNN. Shut up, dude. You're an idiot.
It's the madness of King George. And
what's he talking about now?
Trump having tariffs. Apparently, Trump has only surrounded himself with yes men.
Oh, tariffs are a sign of the madness of King George?
Yes.
Are we in a war with France? Or Spain? Is there taxation without representation going on right now?
This is why I say I like him as an actor, but anytime he opens his fucking mouth otherwise, it's just like, oh god damn.
That's most actors, dude.
And just the deterioration of the Republican Party. I mean, look, I'm just an actor. What do I know? That's
all you should have said.
Yeah, that's the smartest thing he has said.
But
although he's going to go on to fucking babble on about shit he doesn't understand.
This is actually a very deceptive trick that people use. Like, I'm just an actor. What do I know? By the way, I'm going to tell you everything you should be thinking. That way they get to appear humble, Jack. They get to appear like they're not snobby elitists who are trying to tell the dumb masses how they should be thinking. No, I'm just an actor. So what do I know? How much time is left in this clip? Another 25 seconds?
I'm just an unfrozen caveman lawyer.
If you genuinely meant, but what do I know? That would have been the end of the conversation right there. No, I think this, but I don't really know. Because that's what you're saying when you say, what do I know? Unless you're being a shitbag. Thank you, Frosted. He's not even the smartest actor who was in Speed.
Fair.
Oh, that's right. He was one of the police people, wasn't he? Who was he in Speed?
I think he was one of the cops. I don't remember. I haven't seen that movie in 20 years.
Yeah, Speed is one of those movies I watched once and it was okay enough, but it didn't inspire me to ever watch it again.
Yeah, I did not feel the need to rewatch that ever again.
But when Mitch started stacking the courts 25 years ago, I said it on your show once. It's they can see it coming.
He's talking about Mitch McConnell stacking the courts 30 years ago. Jeff, come on, man.
The new America that is diverse and treats everyone with equality and respect and dignity, kind of like Jesus did.
The new America that the Democrats want is like Jesus.
Oh, they love to try and make Jesus out to be some sort of like hippie commie, and that just isn't the case.
Jesus wanted grown men dressed as women looking at your daughter and taking pictures of her in the bathroom at Disney World.
Well, redistributing the means of production.
The Logical Male, thank you so much. Have you guys got to the Hunter Biden meltdown? No, I meant to bring that up, and that maybe that's something we'll do as a full show tomorrow. Have you seen the clips and shit from that?
I've seen a few clips from it, and it's kind of wacky.
At one time, he claims that crack cocaine is better than coke. It's seen as this dirty thing, but no, it's actually really clean, because what are you doing when you make crack cocaine? You're burning off all the impurities. He actually says that. Yeah.
Well, salivating.
We're ready for that. And Mitch and company could see it coming. They were going to be the minority. So they just started, and then here we are. And
so they just started, and here we are. He's actually trying to suggest that Mitch McConnell has caused the Donald Trumping of America by packing the courts with Republicans.
Yeah, that's why there's so much, so little pushback from the court system against Trump.
This is so fucking retarded, man.
Yeah.
Now you got it.
Now you got it. There you go.
Yeah. See, Mitch McConnell back in the 90s, he consulted an oracle named Miss Cleo, and she got her tarot deck out.
Yeah.
And told him that, oh, child, in the dark times ahead, the minorities will run everything. And he's like, no, we have to pack the courts. Get me Newt Gingrich.
I am not of the opinion that actors shouldn't be able to give their opinion. They should be, because they're just people like you and me, Jack, other than, them being pedophiles, which we're not.
Yeah, and we're not stupid either.
But the importance given, because this is a show called The Best People. CNN has no objective, y'all, but The Best People features a guy who's telling us Kamala would have been fucking Lincoln, not fucking the way she fucks everyone else. She would have been like Lincoln, you guys. The great emancipator. She would have been the most greatest emancipator ever.
She would have been a great uniter and brought us all together. One nation under Kamala.
Okay. Let's be honest about Kamala first, shall we? She was a bad candidate.
She was a terrible candidate.
She was such a bad candidate, she made Hillary look like a decent choice for them. And not that Hillary was a good person, but as a candidate, much better candidate than Kamala was. Kamala, they like to break it down and like, oh, she only got 106 days. And again, this isn't the election of 1820. This is the election of 2025, where literally she went from barely anybody knowing her name, because who the fuck knows the vice president, to having a decent chance of becoming the president of the United States.
Yeah.
It's not like people just didn't know who she was and it was unfair because she had to travel by train to all 50 states.
They had to ride ponies half the way.
Yeah. Fuck off. She had plenty of time to campaign, and the more she talked, the more people disliked her. It's the same thing that happened to her in the 2020 cycle when she ran for the DNC nomination then. the more she spoke, no matter how much the press tried to boost that bitch up, the more people went, oh, fuck, no, thank you, no.
Yeah, it's probably because she's stupid.
She is. I mean, 60 Minutes had to change the answer she gave.
Yeah, which they're currently getting sued for.
No, they settled that suit.
Oh, did they? Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
They're giving like $16 million to Trump's presidential library.
I mean,
and they promise that from now on, unless there's national security issues that have to be blacked out, they will release the full transcript of all presidential nominee or presidential candidate interviews. And can I just say, why only them? You know what I mean? Yeah. Shouldn't you give the full transcript for all of the interviews you do? We've seen you guys do enough dirty shit that it shouldn't just be relegated to the presidential candidates.
I see what you're saying, but they're not about to do that.
No, because why would they? Then we'd get to see where they lie all the time.
Yeah.
She gave such bad answers in that interview. They didn't just cut it up and just talk over her, which it's amazing. We watched it live. You guys can go watch that or just go watch the original video again of her giving that interview. It's amazing how much they talk over her to tell you what she was trying to say. She went on to tell us that she hates bad things and loves all good things. It was such a giving an interview as a presidential candidate, especially a major party nominated presidential candidate, should be second nature. She wasn't being asked hard questions. You should be able to give pat answers that fit the question, but she didn't even understand half the time what the question was. So she would just go into her stump speech in parts that had nothing to do with what they were asked.
Yeah, well, she did have to have several attempts at like having a formal dinner. So she's not real smart.
She was such a delight to have as a subject for videos. I miss Kamala. I really do. I hope she runs for governor of California, because at least then we'll get to see her again and we'll get to make fun of her again.
Ugh, yeah.
And
she's so painful to watch.
California, y'all might hate this, but she's going to win if she runs.
Yeah, probably, because they're pretty dumb.
She's got the name recognition, and that's all you need in politics most of the time. She's got the name recognition, and it's California. Thank you, Dangerous. Trump has people in his cabinet who have actively fought against him, like little Marco. Hell, he might have people who are still registered Democrats in his cabinet. You're a fucking moron, Jeff. Yes, he is a fucking moron. Look, he might have people who disagree with him in his cabinet, but he's not like Lincoln, because he's actually been around black people before.
Well, to be fair, Lincoln was friends with Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, he was friends with Frederick Douglass as long as he came in the back door and left that same way.
He was allowed to come in, wasn't
he? This is another part of, and look, he was a man of his time, but even Lincoln thinking that slavery was wrong, he wasn't down with the homies.
Well, he didn't want them in his neighborhood, but, you know, he thought they were people, just not people he wanted to hang out with.
Yeah, like they shouldn't be slaves, but they shouldn't be around me either. It's something that is carried on in the Democratic Party for a long time.
Oh, right up to modern day.
But that's where you want to talk about where the flip came from in politics. There it is. Democrats now pretend that they care about black people while not wanting them anywhere near them. You know, unless they can raise money off of them for an election.
Yeah, they're more like, look at this little trophy I acquired. They're showpiece.
Well, let me just give you an example. We all heard about Stacey Abrams, right? That bitch was on national news constantly. I'm not wrong on it. When she's running for governor out there in Georgia, they made her a national figure. How many of you have seen anything on national news about Winnie? Oh, fuck, what's her last name? The chick running for governor in Virginia right now.
Oh yeah, I can't think of her name.
Her full name's like Winsome, and I forget her last name. I can never think of it. We'll just call her Winnie, and I hope Winnie wins. But this is a woman who's poised to become the first Black woman to be governor of the capital of the Confederacy. Why is this not Sears? Thank you, Winsome Sears. That's her name. Why is she not being made a national figure?
Yeah,
the capital of the of the Confederacy, run by a Black woman, and they're like, well, there's nothing to see here. Meanwhile, Kamala, who isn't even African American, she's Jamaican, and they're like, she'd be the first Black kind of Asian.
India, you're all Black now. You're welcome.
They couldn't tell us enough about her ethnic makeup. And again, if you want to bring it down to the state level, Stacey Abrams. We had to hear all about that buck too fat bitch. But
she's so weird looking.
But Winsome Sears, man, those damn Republicans just hate the Negroes. Is it them or is it the Democrats and their allies in the media?
Oh, we don't talk about that.
If she's Republican, she's obviously a race traitor, right?
Yeah.
But that's how they only care about Black people when they can use Black people for their own ends. They don't give a shit about Byron Daniels. They don't give a shit about Ben Carson. I mean, they actually made Ben Carson a literal fucking brain surgeon who pioneered separation a moron.
Yeah. They destroyed that man's reputation.
And look, he never should have taken the HUD job because he wasn't qualified for that. But that didn't make the man a moron. He's a fucking genius. And they're like, he's so dumb because he works for Trump. Yeah, if you are Black and Republican, you have no meaning to the Democratic Party at all. And I'm not saying that there aren't Republicans who use Black people the same way. But of the two, which one has been doing this to you forever and continues to do it? Damn lighter. That was supposed to be a much quicker transition there, Jack. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to play that. That's why I told you, hold on, you're getting ahead of the story, because I'm just an actor. No, you're just a moronic actor. That's all. That's it. Stacey being on air with Biden thinking she was going to be named his VP was one of my favorite things ever. That is one of the greatest moments in history. Was that what show was that on? Who did that?
What, where she was president of the world?
No. Where Biden and her are on a show together, and the host is like, "Are you gonna ask her to be your nominee for VP?"
Oh, right.
And
it was on like MSNBC or somebody. Yeah, I don't know, but that was embarrassing.
That was wonderful. That was absolutely wonderful. And you know what? The host should have known better. Abrams, again, she was a useful idiot. She was useful because the Democrats are like, look, we can say we like Black people. And then she lost. And while there was still a massive campaign in politics, you don't want to be a loser.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody wants you. Biden, for instance, he doesn't happen in a normal world because he had already lost repeatedly. And his if they had even a halfway decent candidate in 2020, Biden doesn't win that nomination. It was literally just that nobody else worth a shit ran. He was the least bad candidate they had.
That's just sad.
how did we get Kamala? You can lose once and get it, but you got to remember with Kamala, even they didn't want her. The Democrats didn't want her. She was forced upon them because she is a loser. We all watched 2020. That's why they had to force her in. This is why I always said, Jack, that I thought they were going to get rid of Biden and just put her in so that she would automatically get the nomination as the incumbent. Biden and Jill were a little bit more persistent than I thought they would be. And the powers that be behind the scenes were smart enough to tell Kamala, if we actually 25th him, then that's going to be on you and you'll never become president. And so they waited him out, and all they had to do was, in the Hunter Biden interview, Jack, he actually says the reason that Biden was like that on the debate stage is because of the Ambien they give him. He doesn't sleep much. They give him Ambien to sleep, and then you drag him out, and of course he looked like that. It was 9:00 at night. If he had trouble sleeping, then Ambien would not be the problem that made him act like that on the stage.
Yeah, although dementia would.
Dementia absolutely would. Notice all those great Biden speeches that have come out since he stepped down.
Oh man, they're just embarrassing.
He's done so well to prove that he's not the deranged shithead we knew he was. Stacey's face dropping when she realized it wasn't going to happen. Yeah, I love that clip. We should drag that up and watch it again sometime. It was so wonderful. That host was mean. That host thought he was breaking ground, like, oh, because he agreed to come on with Stacey Abrams, he must be going to name her. You probably should have asked the candidate that first.
Yeah, you think you once dump that on people and try and surprise them like that, but apparently that's just a thing you do in the media, like douchebags. It reminded me of when Jenny Jones brought up that guy on, and she's like, "We got somebody who's in love with you," and it turned out to be a dude.
Oh, yeah.
Then there was a murder.
Yeah, the Jenny Jones murder. That's man, I haven't thought about that in years.
I know, right? But every now and then, when you see one of these surprise things, you're like, Jenny Jones.
Lawrence O'Donnell's the one who did that on the show. Okay, cool. I'm glad you brought up the Jenny Jones thing, because I haven't said this in a while and it needs to be repeated. You can't surprise somebody with dick. It's not going to go well.
Historically, that has proven to be quite true.
Don't surprise people with dick. Now, I say that, and it is kind of hypocritical because I do occasionally surprise my woman with my penis.
Yeah, but you're married. That's
the record,
you should know by now.
For the record, this is how I know this wisdom. It has never gone well for me when I've done that. She's never been like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy to see that. Let me play with it and make you happy." It's always like, put that away.
But you always hope.
So wisdom comes from failure. That's how I'm wise in this. Don't surprise people with penis. It's never going to go well. The other thing I want to say,
shirt monkey.
The other thing I want to say before we wrap this up, I don't want to. Somebody who watches the show was telling me that they have a friend who works in government, right?
Okay.
And there's some stuff going on with it. And this person's better half, other half, whatever you want to call them, their spouse, works with that person and wants to know if they should bring this up at work. And I told this person to tell their spouse, if it is something that I would talk about on the show, probably shouldn't talk about it at work. If you're ever wondering, should I bring this up at work? Ask yourself, would Monkey talk about this on the show? And if it's a yes, unless you're watching or unless you work for people who watch the show, talk about sports instead, even if you don't know sports.
We are an HR report waiting to happen.
That's why we don't have an HR department here. They'd fire us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was just talking about don't surprise people with dick. That alone is going to get you fired.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm not telling you guys not to talk about what we're talking about. This isn't secretive. None of what we say here should be that offensive to where you can get, okay, maybe not none of what we say. Most of what we say should not be so controversial that you can get in trouble for it. But that's the world we live in, Jack, is not the world we should live in.
Yeah, your discernment should fall toward what's likely to get me in trouble at work. If Monkey and Jack said it, I'm probably going to get in trouble.
And again, not just if we said it. If you can imagine us talking about it on the show, just
yeah, probably not a good plan.
Talk to your friends about that. Don't do it at work because you're going to get fired. Now, I'm not going to feel bad because I warned you. Just saying.
You have been warned.
You've been warned. Who do you think the third person is? We'll play our own Deadpool here. Who's going to be the third in the string of high-profile celebrity deaths?
I don't know, man. I really didn't see Ozzy going this quick because he just did a concert like a week ago.
I'm more shocked that Ozzy wasn't dead than him dying.
I think most people were shocked 20 years ago to know Ozzy was still alive. But it just, that wouldn't hit me today, man, because Ozzy is a very culturally important figure for what he did for like heavy metal and just rock and roll in general. It's like Gene Simmons dying, you know?
Or Keith Richards. I mean,
yeah,
those three names, if you look at other people who have died, like Prince and Michael Jackson both die in their 50s. These guys are in their 70s and 80s. And especially with like Keith and Ozzy, the amount of, let's call it, controlled substances they've had in their body is astounding.
Right?
Yeah, like I said, I'm more shocked that he was still alive. And he credits all of that to Sharon, his wife.
Oh, yeah. She got him clean.
Yeah. Cleaned up and got to live a lot longer. And yeah, it's again, I wasn't a big fan of Ozzy, but I get it. That's fucking horrible. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna guess somebody. Ricky Schroeder. He's gonna be the next one. He's not dead already, is he? I don't want to cheat and guess somebody who already died. Betty White will be next.
Yeah, I really don't know because this year has been some crazy, unpredictable deaths. I think we're all going to have to wait until you fall asleep and see who has a fall or something.
I think the first time I heard about Ozzy was his Wow commercial. Well, me and Jack both grew up in the 80s. You knew the name Ozzy even if you didn't listen to him.
Yeah, if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, you probably knew who Ozzy Osbourne was, especially when he went solo from Black Sabbath. And he got real big in the, early 80s?
Yeah. Sabbath was big in the late 70s, and then Ozzy has his own career separate from them that takes off in the 80s, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. When he went solo, he had kind of toured around a little bit, and then he got a good songwriter who wrote kind of his style.
Mm-hmm.
And then hooked up with Randy Rhoads, and man, those guys were great. If you liked heavy metal in the 80s, you probably owned at least one Ozzy album. If not, you were kind of commie.
Ozzy to me has always had the 70s metal sound, which I'm not as big a fan of. His later stuff was more 80s style, I suppose, but if you listen to Aerosmith in the 80s or in the 70s versus Aerosmith in the 80s, there's a clear difference in the overall sound.
Yeah.
There was just something about a lot of 70s metal has almost a muted sound to it. Let me get this before I forget. Thank you, Dangerous. Surprise trannies are kind of like a tourist discovering a dangerous animal while visiting Australia. You get an unpleasant surprise while you're down under. Crikey, there's a snake in that bush. Indeed. A lot of it, I think, comes from the recording methods at the time. because all of the
Yeah,
music from that
I mean,
time
that
has
makes
that kind of sound, and if it doesn't get remastered digitally, it all has that kind of muted sound, and I don't like it.
Yeah, even some of the remasters kind of keep that muted nature to it. I get what you're saying. I think most of the really good heavy metal came out in the 80s. But that's just me. Some in the 90s, like I was a big Danzig fan. But yeah, Ozzy, I was always loved Ozzy. My brother was a huge fan. Saw him in concert a few times. I mean, made those pussies in Def Leppard look like bitches. So, I mean, he was one of the few guys that could that had the big hair that wasn't a hair band, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I would play it safe if we're calling deaths. I'm gonna go with some crappy YouTube celebrities and say Voodoo Beauty or Amberlynn Reed is probably gonna die this year because they're both ginormously fat and one's in a war zone.
My honest thing within the next couple of days, who's going to die? It's going to be Joe Biden.
That would not surprise me. Joe Biden or Mitch McConnell, maybe.
They just sent his son out to do that unhinged interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's to help with the he probably died yesterday and they haven't told us yet.
Well, I mean, they may not know. I mean, his zombie might be like corn pop instead of brains, you know.
Kay Roberts says, well, the show is collapsing. I think that's how you say it. I've seen all the stuff about it. It's the VTube network, Jack.
Oh yeah, I saw Charlie talking about that earlier today.
Yeah, I think it's so funny that now Jack gives me where he's like, I watched a Charlie video.
Yeah. Oh, I got my sister hooked on the Penguin Zero channel because I watched the one with the creepy. She was over at the house, and I was watching the one with the creepy dude that wrote the letters to or this chick that he saw on Bumble, and they didn't get matched up, and he left her like some messages and creepy voicemails.
Yeah.
And then we watched the one about the guy that was like, I want you to quit your job and move into my house by the lake, and we shall have children together.
Charlie,
yeah, so, good times.
Charlie's one of the few people that came from that. I believe are they the LA group or the Austin group? I forget which, but one of these people where they all hung around and came up together as creators.
Yeah.
Who I understand why he's successful.
Yeah. Well, and he's entertaining.
Yes.
He makes a lot of cultural references that I may not get, but at least the viewers generally will get at least some of them. Like, I don't get all his video game analogies, but he's funny. And I mean, I got my sister to watch him. So it's like, you know, like he may be a tiny little man, but he's an entertaining little man.
But
I'm almost a foot taller than him.
Yeah, he is a little guy. I'm not even sure I'm saying it right, but whatever the network, there've been a lot of problems with VTuber networks because they're scummy.
Yeah, they're like the what were they called, the marketing network teams that used to be at YouTube.
They're even worse than them. The multi-channel networks, MCNs. Yeah. They're worse than the record industry in the 50s. I mean,
that's probably true.
They are. I mean, we own everything you ever do because we are the ones who actually made that thing. Even though all of the content from it is from you. No, we own it. We'll give you a pittance of it. And one of their biggest stars just quit.
She was talking to the CEO. I saw that clip and I could not fucking believe it. Like, she's talking to the CEO and quits on the spot because she hasn't been paid. And I get it. She could easily go out on her own and make a lot more money, which is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, the V2 companies had a monopoly on this because the number of people who could come up with the programming for that was really slim. But now we have AI.
Yeah.
Whoopsie. All the talents quit. After, what's their name? Oh, fuck. I can't even think of it. Because I don't follow VTubers. I don't watch VTubers. I don't either. Care.
But yeah, when she quit, the others quit, like
Yeah.
it was in succession, like dominoes. Apparently, they had 4 of the top 10 VTubers
Yeah.
in their network, and they all quit. That
Iron
company's
Mouse.
probably fucked.
Iron Mouse, that's who it was. And
Iron
yeah, they
Mouse?
probably are. And they're going to learn real quick that even the record company, this is why I say they're worse than the record companies. Even the record companies knew you had to give them some compensation to keep them happy.
Yeah.
Throw them a little trinket. Let them sell T-shirts at the concerts, kind of thing. You have to keep the top, especially your top talent, happy.
Well, the CEO said, "Well, we have the money to pay you," and she said, "Then pay me right now." And he wouldn't do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I have.
Why
seen
aren't
that
you
going,
paying people?
I have seen that going on, but it's one of those things that I have a mild interest in. It's why we haven't really talked about it on the show.
Yeah, it's still unfolding too. Like that network is likely going to completely collapse, and it'll probably be the stuff of internet legend for a while, much like the ball pit at DashCon.
Also going on is I always forget this guy's name. Used to work for Blizzard. Fakes his voice on stream to make him sound like he's got a really nice voice. I can't think of his name, but no, there's this movement going on called Stop Killing Games, and what they want is that if a game company quits supporting a game, Pirate Software, thank you.
I heard something about this.
They stop supporting a game, then they should make it so you're still able to play the game.
Yeah.
And whether that's ever going to become a thing or not, I don't know. But 10 months ago, probably 11 at this point, he made a video basically siding with the developers. And a month or so ago, somebody made a video about Stop Killing Games where they talked about this 10-month-old video. Pirate Software has gotten so much shit lately because it's been found out. Like, he used to do puzzle games, Jack, and he'd talk shit about people who use guides to get through them. And then it came out he was using guides to get through them. But most recently, he is very, very proud of at one time holding the record for the biggest hype train on Twitch. On Twitch, if you get a certain set of donations, it starts what's called a hype train. And then as more and more people donate, you go up in levels of hype train. And he got to like over 100, and he was very proud of it. And it turns out he was very likely paying his mods to make those donations to keep the hype train going.
Wow, that's lame. That's kind of pathetic. I mean, that's a little sad
and fraudulent. Which Legal Mindset has a video on this where he's actually watching somebody else who points out that there might be legal issues, and he goes over the legal issues that could come up here. They're probably not going to, because the kind of people who throw money at some asshole like that just to keep their hype train going, they're not going to sue him for the hype train. They were happy to be part of the hype train.
Yeah. If you're going to throw money at 2 assholes, I mean,
give it to us.
Right? Links are in the description, or buy a t-shirt or something.
YouTube really should steal the hype train idea, because it is a good way to get your audience hyped up about it. And it really does encourage people to donate when there's a hype train going on. Yeah, this pathetic shithead was basically donating to himself.
I always found that weird. I've heard that Darkside Phil might be doing that too. And we've heard Ethan Ralph does shit like that. I always thought that was just weird and sad.
It is. I understand it if the point is just to get people to donate more, because it's basically an investment at that point, Jack. But when you're doing, and then you're going to sit there and brag about how well liked you are over it. I had the greatest hype train. You bought half of it. You don't get to brag about that shit.
That's just creepy and weird. I don't know. That strikes me as always kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you, Evolved Potato. A more important part of why all the VTubers quit was because they didn't donate $500,000 to charity that one of the VTubers raised. So not only will the company probably collapse, but some people might go to jail because fraud. Yeah, that makes sense. And that was the American branch, so they're subject to some serious charity fraud. Charity fraud is not something you fuck around with either. That's something the feds will investigate.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think anything's going to happen to anybody over it because it's online stuff. And I realize it has real world impact, but I almost, for tonight's show, Jack, talked about a clip that I saw from Tim Pool's show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where it's okay. There was this chick on there who said she won't be happy. The bare minimum the Trump DOJ needs to do is get some arrests. And I understand that notion. I really do. Well, you have to tell me the specific charges and evidence that you think that the arrests need to happen for. Because otherwise you're just wishing people to go to jail because you think they did something wrong.
Yeah, if I'm the emperor, that probably shouldn't happen.
There's a lot of shady shit we saw go on under Biden and even under Obama, and a lot of it, there's not laws to throw these people in jail over it.
Yeah, Congress makes a lot of loopholes for themselves, and so do the feds.
There's also not a lot of will in the DOJ to go after people who may one day be their boss.
Yep.
So I get it. Brianna Morello. Thank you, Dangerous. That's what it was. Brianna Morello.
That sounds like a supervillain name. I don't trust her.
She's a cute little brunette. Well, is it brunette if they have black hair still?
Is she on the plump side?
No, not even a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But at the end of this clip, Tim Pool's going, I just think it's fake. I think it's fake. I don't think anybody's going to do anything at all because it's just all fake. It's not all fake, Tim. If you have an actual charge, by all means, bring up the actual charge, because they really want to go after Obama for treason for the for what Tulsi Gabbard laid out.
Yeah, the Russia hoax.
There's not actual treason there.
There's quite likely not. Plus, like you said, there's not the political will for that to happen. They don't say what you will about the DOJ. They are very political. And like you said, they're not going to go after somebody that might be in charge of them someday or a friend of somebody that's in charge. So I don't think anything's going to happen just because these are politicians and federal agents, and nothing really ever happens to them anyway.
You need a very, very specific charge. And one of the things they do, Tim Pool, when he's like, I don't believe it. I mean, they went after Trump and they had literally nothing. They just made it up. So I don't think anything's going to happen. Are you really suggesting they should just go out and make that shit up?
Maybe. I mean, it seemed to work under Biden.
Yeah, and that was a bad thing.
Yeah.
Remember, that was a bad thing.
It's okay when we do it, right?
I am all for prosecuting anybody that we can prove did some bad shit.
But real quick,
illegal shit and bad shit are two different things. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, like not all evil things are considered legal, sadly.
Yeah.
But thank you, Fun Time Happy Kitty. Why are you using my safe word? The difference between a chickpea and a lentil, outside of cotyledon density, you can really confuse a Viet mama asking for her daughter to lentil on your face when she goes full chipmunk. Look, it's a matter of like $5. Let's be honest.
There you
go. But thank you, Fun Time Happy Kitty.
But my point there with everything we were just talking about is the reality of the world is that a lot of the people that even we think did some dirty shit, Jack, there's probably no direct evidence of it.
Yeah, if they find some, that's one thing, I suppose. But let's face it, political class is protected in this country. People like Bob Menendez getting prosecuted are very rare, and it's a sacrificial lamb to the justice gods so they can hide some other dirtier shit.
Would you want to be the prosecutor who took, let's take Biden, for instance. who took Biden to trial for his clear violations of the law and loses that case because of the jury just siding with the demented old man. Would you want that on your record? Because that's going to kill your career.
Yeah, it's a career killer either way. If you win or lose, it doesn't matter, because somebody's going to say you're going after him for political reasons, even if you have a clear-cut case. Or, oh, he's just a nice old man. Or look at that Obama fellow. They're going after him because he's black, or because he's so well-spoken, or he wore a tan suit. Whatever the reason, your career is effectively done. So no matter what happens.
In a perfect world, justice is what matters. In the real world, their careers are what matters.
Yeah. People care more about their career than they do about justice. So,
Rocco D2, thank you. Every time with every AI, you ask AI to show you pictures of the Krungus. It's a scary demon. I don't think I've ever asked AI to do that.
I tried to get AI to show me Taylor Swift's boobs once, and it wouldn't do it.
That's because she doesn't have boobs, dude.
She has delightful A cups.
She has one day these will grow up and be A cups.
Starter A cups, yeah. She's getting too old to have kids, so they're not getting any bigger. But she's aging out anyway. I like her music fine, but there's only so much breakups I can handle. And I would have given her a double album. I'm just saying.
I don't hate Taylor Swift the way some people do, but I do believe that the criticism of her not being as pretty as people want to pretend, she's a pretty enough girl.
Yeah, she's okay. She's a Midwest 7.
I asked Grok to show me pictures of a Krungus, and it gave me what looks like a mushroom with herpes, and the second picture is it kind of looks like a weird cannabis plant.
Oh Jesus! No, I think the hate that Taylor Swift gets is better served giving it to Katy Perry.
Fair.
She's kind of a monster.
See, look, a mushroom with herpes.
That's about what I pictured, actually.
Yeah. And the other one was this. It looks like the bud part. It's a giant marijuana plant.
That looks like a Doctor Who monster.
But anyway, on that note, we're going to wrap this one up. Guys, thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop some links to some cool videos if I could get my internet to work here. Fuck you, Chrome. But thank you guys so much for the generous donations. It is greatly appreciated. You guys are awesome. You're very beautiful people, and we hope you recognize that.
Rocco asks, is Krungus a thing? Apparently it's a herpes-infested Smurf village. I don't know. All right, no long outro tonight. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Guys, take care of yourselves. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
I'm gonna have nightmares about Smurfette.